Hail to thee, my kindred. I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, evening. No, I messed it up. It's over. My brain is. It feels like it's just mush today. Holy shit. I'm not feeling too well. I am okay, but I'm not feeling too well. I don't know why. I think it's just a typical. I wake up and my brain is dehydrated for whatever god awful reason. Even though I don't know. I just don't know. I will survive. But I hope you're all doing fine. The weather is warm today. And it shall hopefully be warm tomorrow. For in this weekend, I believe there is bound to be a storm of proportions unknown to me. I will struggle, and I may perish. But I will not perish without something. What that something is, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Me, 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 me. Lettuce, munching on lettuce. My brain is telling me eat some lettuce, but I don't want lettuce. Lettuce is boring and green. Even I don't really know why lettuce is even much of a thing in the first place, you know? It has barely any flavor. It's got nothing. It's just plant. It says Saturday it's gonna be like 8 degrees Fahrenheit, man. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'd prefer for it to not be 8 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's the like top temperature too. It's not even the standard. I think that's like highest it's gonna be on Saturday, according to my weather app. I don't know why I made that sound at the end of that word. Highest is gonna be 8 degrees. Lowest -3. My soul. My whole entire soul is just gonna be rendered and destroyed during that time. Good thing I'll be inside, and I can only hope that the internet, persists. So do not be too surprised if on Saturday and Sunday I am not able to present myself to you, the fine people. My microphone is a little dirty. What the frick? What the helly? What the heck? Unacceptable. Okay, I wiped at it as much as I could. As much as I could. I don't think today I'm gonna do much of anything. Gonna do some talking. We're gonna do some talking. And then after we do some talking, maybe watch a thing or two. I've been contemplating the lengths of my streams. And I believe it would be advantageous to prolong these activities that we do here. I don't know why I'm saying it so I'm so inclined to try and sound so formal. Maybe it's just me trying to flex my brain a little bit. Flex it for some big juicy words. Big, nice, juicy words. I did have potatoes and mashed potatoes and ribs today. They're pretty good. I love ribs. The only thing I don't like about ribs is the way that it gets stuck between your teeth. That is unpleasant consequence of consuming such delicious meat. But it is what it is. I gotta cut my hair. When will I be able to do that? Because I'm waiting for it to stop being cold. Because I don't wanna be bald in the cold. That would be treacherous. And quite frigid. You know, I already feel cold everywhere. The last place I need to feel the cold is my head. But at the same time, I have far too much hair, and it does seem to have stopped its growth like a while back. I do not believe my hair will grow any longer than it already has. Today was supposed to be Underrail, but I think I'm not gonna play Underrail anymore, honestly. I just don't feel it. I don't feel it in me anymore, Sheaf. Like, I might still play it on my own time. You know, I might, like, hop on, play around with some builds or something. But my own patience for it has run out. At least for now. At least for now. What we'll play instead, in its place, I will figure out. We got a couple of games, so I'm not too worried. We have a few, we have options. We do in fact have options. I also began to once again write down the things I do, so that I can talk about them here. It's a good habit, I think, considering my forgetfulness. And I was also planning to find some different background music. I honestly was gonna try and see if I could find a, like, looped track of... What's that game called? It's the one where you go into space and you're like a little alien guy whose people's culture, I think, has something to do with space, and you get to explore the solar system. Yeah, you get to explore your, like, solar system and whatnot, and you also come back to life every time you die. I forget what that's called. Like, the name was there in my mind. All of a sudden, it's no longer there. It is simply not here in my brain. But that game has a pretty nice soundtrack, and I do wonder if I could use it, just to put it as the background thing, because I do think it's a little bit more pleasant than what I currently have. I do need to figure out what that game is called. I'll I only remembered that it existed because I was watching a video by someone named Pint, which is a funny name, and their character is small. I believe that is why the name is Pint. But this Pint person had the soundtrack for it in their very well made video that I watched yesterday. Or was it this morning? I think it was this morning. I stayed up all night as I usually do, and, you know, slept in the late morning till I had to wake up, you know, so that I could eat. It was about, like, video games or something. I mean, I know it was about video games, but specifically MMOs and how they used to be fun, and basically overall just the enjoyment of games and whatnot. I could not word things in a way that would justify the video. It was a pretty well edited video as well. Very well edited. It gave me a bit of fire, you know, to create something myself, you know. It gave me one of those moments where I just sit here and and think about cool things to make and never actually make them because I'm a freaking dumbass who does not know the first thing about editing anything. I may watch more of that person's videos, though. Seems they only make some a couple of times a year, which I imagine is because of the, well, length of time it may take to edit the videos themselves. My brain is feeling kind of better now. Slightly better. Yeah, I do think it was just dehydration. I was probably just dehydrated. I'm gonna be yawning a lot too. I tried to like speed drink my coffee today just to get that energy boost in there. Don't think it really. Well, I would argue it's slightly worked. Slightly. Ever so slightly. Oh, you guys remember when I played the non-existence of you and me? Apparently the Morpheum Paradox, like little DLC is in early access, I believe. And that was like the little, it was a part of the story. I kind of forgot what the story was even about. It was a strange one. It was kind of fun though. Umar, hail to thee. How do you do? How do you do? I hope you are less mind-fogged than I. My brain is feeling a little better. I don't feel like my brain is as much mush as it was a little bit ago. What was I gonna look up? CSGO, I think. Counter-Strike, right? Yeah. Not CSGO specifically, but... It's only 57 gigabytes? I thought it was more. Why did I think... Huh, weird. Okay. Didn't they, like, graphically enhance the game at some point? Okay, maybe I'm going crazy. You're fucked? Had your breakup today? No! No! I am so sorry to hear that, Umar. I am so sorry to hear that. That sucks. This shall pass, but in the meantime, I apologize for your struggle. I could not imagine how such a thing would feel. Man. Mayhaps I shall be able to distract you with my hooliganism and procedurally generated mind thoughts. It was a long way. You mean like it was long coming? Like you were expecting it, or... Okay, I don't understand when they... Okay, these games don't make any sense. Okay, on one thing it says the storage is 85 gigabytes, but when you actually go to the... Like, if you have a game in your library, it just tells you, like, less space than what the actual store page tells you. That does not make sense for me. We were dating for 1 year, and you certainly hope my mind fuck... You certainly hope my mind fuck helps you heal. It shall. Do not worry. These days... Not days, I hope not for days. Oh my god, can you imagine me being, like, all mushy-brained for days? That would actually suck. that would I think I would have to contemplate non-existence for a little bit there. But no, usually it doesn't last long. I think like I said before when I was just kind of talking to myself, it's I think I just wake up hella dehydrated and therefore my brain is just like bleh. I did spend like a lot of time yesterday or early this morning, depending on what time it was, getting rid of a bunch of stuff. So now I have like 91 gigabytes of space. Me being silly is such a bliss to watch. Ah. I'm gonna toss you out a window for being so kind. That is my way. That is the way I show affection. Do not worry. I proceed to commit violent acts upon thee. It's like, it's like when you get cuteness aggression, but it's for when you get flustered and shy. I just start throwing hands. Yeah, my nose is a bit stuffed up too, just a slight bit. I wrote down things in the hopes that I would remember and could describe what I've done, at least since like last night / the early morning, because I didn't really sleep well. Well, I don't really sleep in the nights like normal people. How about I watch videos? You can tell me one. I do have a couple planned for later, but for now I just kind of wanna talk. You ever watched speaking of videos, you ever watched whatchamacallit? I wrote it down here somewhere. Tasting History, Townsend. Those two like history-based. Well, Townsend is less focused technically on. Well, actually, okay, Townsend is kind of for a fair amount of their content is like food-based, but they focus whenever they make like stuff related to food. It's based on like 17th century, 18th century stuff, and I find that cool. Tasting History is like similar gimmick, except it's a wider range of history. Where the guy, Max Miller, I think his name is, because I mean, the name's in the channel, so I imagine that's the guy's name. Freaking, he be cooking stuff from all times, and I find that cool as hell. He also has a cookbook, which I kind of want to buy someday, just to, like, look at it. You were gonna be telling me a channel of dad jokes? No, I'm not watching a video of just dad jokes. That would be too much. I need to like stop breathing so closely to the mic. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear that. I already mentioned that today it's pretty warm in comparison to like the last couple of days. But then it's gonna be cold again because there's gonna be a snowstorm. Ah, jeez. We can hear that very well. Oh boy. You know, I try. I don't know how to arrange my microphone in a way that others do. Because so many people that I've seen, even those that have like the same mic as I, sound so much better. And I don't know if it's because they have it plugged into a, what do you call it? A little box thing. Instead of like straight into their computer. It makes me a little, thoughtful. The cold season is slowly concluding over there. You're lucky. You are very, very lucky. Over here, I think it's gonna keep on going for a little bit. It always tends to do that over here, where I am. Just kind of last until like the first 2 or 3 months. I mean, it's obviously it dies down, but like you get the last like. It's weird because it's dying down. Right, in like the first couple of months of the year, but at the same time, like you'll just get like a random like snowstorm. It's like the last hurrah of winter before it finally goes away. You don't like summer? I enjoy the summer, but then again, your summers must be something. I was born in a place where it was always summer, so I found myself very much acclimed to the weather. But I can understand why people don't enjoy it necessarily. In comparison to something like spring, which is a lot easier to deal with, or the fall. I like the fall as well. The fall is pretty nice. Roaches start appearing often in summer. Yeah, I get that. Though I very much also do not enjoy the reemergence of those insectoids. Unpleasant, they are, very unpleasant. Summer as a season is absolutely great, but the shit that happens along with the summer, yeah, yeah, it brings it down a couple of notches. Knuckles, hail to thee. Where's Undertale? Not here. Not here, that's for sure. I will just be yapping. Just a little yap and a little video watching later when I feel like doing that. You know, there are some people out there who can do exactly this for like 8 hours. I do not know how. I can barely play a game for like 3, sometimes 4, depending, right, if I'm enjoying myself. But some people out there can just do this for like ever and ever, and I'm just like, how, you know? Reggie, you and the real Reggie. Fine, we'll watch like one. If I come across it. One video. Because you've been meandering. That's not even the right word. You've been... Me when I used the wrong fucking word. Oh, jeez. I play games that are rarely ever seen across YouTube. Yes and no. Yes and no. I will admit that I do tend to stick to like indie stuff, but other games I play are like, well, I guess recently. I don't know. How often? I guess, okay, if we took the totality of all the games I've played, for sure, most of them are games that are probably never heard about. Morrowind, I would argue, are... Morrowind is known. Morrowind is known. I don't think Morrowind, you can say that Morrowind is, like, not common across YouTube. I've seen plenty of people play Morrowind. Like, not everybody, but, like, plenty of people have done so. Plenty of people have streamed it. Night of the Abattoir Man, I mean, that one's, you know... I stick to indie stuff, usually. For the most part. I think recently I've started, obviously, getting a little bit more into, like, what has been mainstream here and there. Like when I played Dead Space. I got Dead Space 2 to play as well. We're gonna play freaking Bolter. Or what's he? I forget. The Doom game that's Warhammer 40k. I forget what it's called. I think it's literally Warhammer Bolt Gun or something like that. We're gonna play that eventually, and that was pretty popular for a good while. So we are getting a little bit into the territory of like known games. You should try playing Valorant. I could not run Valorant even if I wanted to. Which I wouldn't, because I'm not good with competitive games of such a nature. That's why I stick to single-player games for a good reason. And it's because I get very mad when I play multiplayer games. Actually, that reminds me, I do want to check how... What's the word? How much, like, how many gigabytes is freaking Valorant? It's not even on Steam. I just remember that. It's not even on Steam. It's on freaking Epic Games, right? So I can't even check. And I am not getting an Epic... I am not getting an Epic Games fucking profile. Do I like anime? Of course. Of course I do. Valorant players suck toes for breakfast. These are wise words from Knuckles to Shuckles. Do you have evidence? Are you yourself a Valorant player? You know, speaking of anime, have you guys ever watched Drifters? It's not about drifting. I think that was what it was called. I watched a video on it a little bit ago. You don't suck toes? But Drifters is a anime that, well, manga / anime that was made by the same guy that made Hellsing, right? And it's basically an isekai, but it's not like normal people getting isekai'd. It's what if random historical figures got isekai'd into one fantasy world? It was actually a pretty cool concept. Issue is that the creator of the manga series is, the creator of Hellsing is kind of lazy. He describes himself as a pretty lazy guy, and I'm pretty sure Hellsing itself took years and years to like actually get done, let alone this other series, which is more niche, I suppose, because it's about a lot of historical figures in a fucking fantasy world. It's a pretty cool concept. Like if you actually watch if you even manage to find the season, like the one season of the anime, it's pretty damn cool. I'm pretty sure you could probably find the like a couple of fight scenes on YouTube. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's a hell of a great game. It's a Souls-like. Could I even run Sekiro? It's 60 doubloons. I probably could. I think I could if I lowered the graphics, most likely. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can definitely run this, actually. It's only 25 gigabytes? I mean, I guess it is like a single-player game. It's always single-player games that are, like, so low on, like, gigabytes, huh? But then you go for, like... you look at, like, some very basic-ass multiplayer, like, shooter, and it's, like, 100 gigabytes. I'll think about it. I'll see if it goes on sale. Like, I haven't dipped my toes into proper Souls-like games, so, like, I'm very... You know... I'm prone to be angry. Therefore, it is hard for me to commit like $60 to a game that will make me pissed off. You don't suck toes, not for breakfast at least, Knuckles. You would love to see me play Sekiro? I mean, you've played Morrowind, but Morrowind is like an RPG, and it's fun because it has a lot of lore. Same thing. It is not the same thing, you hooligan. You absolute buffoon. You absolute buffoon. You didn't see that. But I have thought about playing like Souls-likes in general. Both games have swords. That is true. But the logic, the logic is logicking. They do in fact both have swords. Oh, for real? Like, every other dumb shit multiplayer has, like, a storage of 5,000 gigabytes? Yeah, and it doesn't... Dude, it does not help that nowadays every piece of computer hardware is now, like... okay, this is the thing, right? I've been complaining about the fact that I don't have space for forever. Now I don't think I'm gonna be able to get any sort of space-related upgrade for my computer for a couple of years at this point. And single-player ones are barely a few, yeah. Single-player games. And they're more fun. Like, admittedly, they're more fun. They're less space. I don't have to worry about random shit like lag. Not to say that I haven't played a multiplayer game before. I have, right? But it was something that at least had, like, an interesting little concept to it. You want to see that? What was that maid costume? What maid costume? What are you talking about? I do not think you have your eyes connected to your brain stem. Do I own Minecraft? I do. I do own Minecraft. I am blazing blocks and shit 'cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. Denial? No. No rivers in Egypt. We should play it. You say we. What do you mean by this? Oh, my throat. Ow. Okay, I like half swallowed, half yawned. I don't even know what the hell that was, and it hurt. You can literally rewind stream. Oh, you know what? I've kind of forgot. You're on... Yeah, you can do that on YouTube. We, as in you, me, and chat. I'm pretty sure that requires a server, no? Like, I don't think you can just hop on Minecraft and then boom. At least I think. Show that again. No. Never. You shall see it this Halloween. Mayhaps. I'm like 90% sure that's how that works. I do remember when it used to be that you could just like get on Minecraft, go on multiplayer, and then boom. That may have been more of a console thing, because I did used to play Minecraft on console, and on console you could literally just like go on your, like, you know, the host's like world that's like a multiplayer world, and then they would invite whoever the hell they wanted, and then boom, you would have your buddies and you would just play around in there. But I don't think it works the same way for the PC. I think for PC you need a server. You know, every now and again I see people that are smarter than me doing computer related things, like having their own little designated like server things or whatever they like. I don't know what they call it necessarily, the specific names, but you know, they have their little tower thing that's just like a server with like a bunch of memory and whatever else in there. And I'm just like, wow, that's pretty cool. Because some people use that specifically for things like that, where where they want to play a game with some buddies or whatever, and then they just boom. Why am I in the middle of a farm with fish? These are the golden fields. This is where I reside, the golden fields. And el pescado is just here. El pescado is here for reasons unknown to mankind, and they shall remain unknown for all of human history. Honestly, he was just kind of there, you know? He's been following me around for quite some time. Always spinning. Always rotating. And it makes me ponder. And it's a good meditative tool, admittedly. Which country do I hail from? Questions. What did I think of that thing you made yesterday? You mean the drunken goddess? It was pretty cute. I enjoyed it. It gave me a good chuckle. I tried to make a little silly doodle inspired by your thing, but then I was like, fuck. And I couldn't get it done. But yeah, I am here in the United States. That is where I hail in this day and age. Why? Why what? You're gonna have to be specific. You know I forget. You know I have a tendency of forgetting literally what I just talked about. Why no drawing? I try to get like it was like a silly little drawing. It was gonna be something kind of cute, and then like I just couldn't get the shape of like the very basic outline correct, and my mind was not computing to my hand how things ought to be. And then when I tried to like do it, it did not look like my brain was trying to make it look. Therefore, I got mad. Jolly has a propensity for anger. This is common knowledge. It was just you know how I like to drink every now and again. It was just gonna be like a silly little like chibi of me and the goddess, just like stupid drunk, and that's it. That was literally it. And it was just gonna be like best buddies because we both like drinking. That was it. That was the idea. Because when I looked at that, I was like, she's just like me. She's just like me. Someone hands her a bottle and boom. She's crunked up, and if somebody did that to me, I'd be crunked up too, immediately. I might need to wear one of those shirts. You know how they they have shirts that say "Don't hand me a cigarette no matter what"? One of those, but just for alcohol. Don't hand me a bottle of alcohol no matter what. Someone on Reddit was like, so that's why she keeps getting shit stolen. That's one of the reasons, you know? One of the reasons. I still remember that random little tidbit of lore you gave me one time. It is ingrained in my mind. But I could see that. You know, like could you blame her? Could you blame her for a bottle of alcohol? You know? I don't. I sure as hell don't. Were the Nord warrior fucked her for 13 days exactly? That little tidbit of information is just burned into my brain. I will never forget this. Out of all Elder Scrolls information, this one is just in there, in the inner crevices of my little library of Alexandria. I gotta stretch. Oh, jeez. Elder Scrolls lore goes hard. Yeah, hard like that Nord was able to keep it hard. Like, open this link. Better not be to something heinous. Oh, my nose. Great. Isn't anything heinous? Good. I entrust you all to not get yourselves or me in trouble. I feel like I gotta close my eyes for like a second. Don't know why. I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. For sure, none of us shall be in trouble. Okie dokie. Send away the link. Bring it here. Tomorrow's Friday. Ay. Thank goodness it is. I just kind of want to like wrap myself in a blanket and keep sleeping. YouTube restricts links? Does it? Huh. Let me see real quick if I can... You know what? That probably makes sense. If it's YouTube doing it. I feel like that makes sense. That's alright. That's okay. Because I don't think... you can be... Like... YouTube's moderation's a little odd. At least to me. Because I don't think you can really mess around with it in the same way you can with Twitch's moderation stuff. We might watch a video on some otters. Because I looked at a video and I was like, oh, that's cute. And I wanted to watch it. So you guys are gonna watch it with me. You have no choice in this. Then Reggie. Hi, my name's Reggie. I probably shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? Let me actually see if this one... How long is this one? It's only 8 minutes. I was like on a Discord call and someone showed me a video by this channel. And I was like, ah, adorable, cute, wholesome. There we go. It is by Kotsumet. Look, they have otters in their profile picture. I need to make sure the volume is actually on before I forget. Should be a little... It might be a little loud. Like a tad bit, you know? A minuscule amount of loud, perhaps. Little guy. Kotaro, that's his name. You got Kotaro, you got Hana. And they're both adorable. Look at these creatures. Glorious little things. They got little hands and they're trying to get into the bag. And they make funny little noises. Oh, that one got in. Hannah is smart. Kotaro, maybe not so much. The way she... You should see the video I watched was with them trying to like... The owner gave them like a bowl of rice to play around with, and then they kept like digging around in the rice for a little bit, but never looking inside properly. They would like stick their arm into the bowl, like kind of move the rice around, and then just like pull the arm out and then look inside, and then come back out, put the arm again, start digging through, take the arm out, look back inside, and just kept repeating that. Salmon. Alan versus Sam. Mayhaps, mayhaps. Very cute indeed. Little creatures. Bro, they are eager as hell. I don't even know how you get to own an otter. I don't even... You need papers for that? Like, I don't know. Maybe in Japan you just can, you know? You just kind of can do that. She tried to go over to Kotaro's plate. A rascal. Be rich? What do you mean, be rich? Egg. I don't think she like egg. Shame. What a shame. And I saw that link you sent. No, she's a thief. She's a thief. Rascal. What a rascal. Ah, okay. They brought him another one. Kotaro gets to continue feasting. This is the type of shit I like to watch just on my off time. I say my off time, I said my fucking work. On my, like, you know, just what I meant to say just like randomly. Like, very simple, very, very normal. Just every now and again, just to get the brain to give me some dopamine. Egg. Waiting. No, she dropped it. Why is she playing around with it? She's just playing around with the. Oh, oh. Okay, there you go. She just had to wash it. That's the issue. That's. She just wanted to wash the egg. I guess that's smart, you know. You couldn't send me the link. Rather watch this. Yeah. I'll look it up. I'll see if it is something I'm interested in watching. Nothing is guaranteed. Yeah, I've eaten raw salmon before. It's not that bad. It's a joke. Is it really? Bully Yol hard enough and anything is guaranteed? Excuse you? Do you want to get slam dunked in the nuts? What do you mean, bully me enough and anything's guaranteed? I am not bullyable. I am hardy and stalwart. Bro does not want his veggies. No. No, he does not. These critters... I don't even know if otters eat any kind of vegetable. I'm pretty sure they just eat meat. Why did they put the egg on the head? They're not a fan of grilled foods. Like how they put this one in the bucket and then the other one in the pool. Every animal has to eat veggies to regulate their digestive system. I mean, maybe, but clearly they don't need it. I mean, I think they're doing fine. No, not maybe. I'm going to disagree for the sake of being a contrarian. You ever seen a dog eat grass? That is like a rarity. And that's when they have tummy ache, okay? They do that to regulate their digestive systems. But do they need it? You know? It's a big difference. Look at him go. Bro is not eating his egg. Or her egg, sorry, this was the gal. Jesus. She has a tendency to just play around with it for a while. There we go. Yippee! She's eaten the egg! They look so funny when they eat. Yeah, indeed, your stalwart, steadfast man. See? Umar agrees with me, therefore you have to as well, Knuckles. My nose. I'd be swimming like that too. They have merch? Oh my goodness, they have merch. Oh, t-shirts, as far as I know. Do they have anything else? Okay, that's just recommended video. Let's head over here as I look for the other stuff. There may be indeed interesting things. Now, don't be hasty, you little hooligan. That was certainly pure sarcasm. Well, I'm gonna fill you with pure hydrogen. What will that do? I don't know. I do not know, but it'll do something to you. I'm not watching a video of that. It literally is just dad jokes. And what's the other one that Knuckles wants me to watch? Okay, can I copy the link? Is that a thing I can do? Yes, it is. There we go. Ole mole. Is this a whole channel where they just do that? It is. It is just a whole channel. It seems where they just make jokes at one another. I feel like I've seen this pop up before, or I've at least seen other people watch Yeah Mad, because I feel like some of these thumbnails, the format looks familiar. Alan versus Sam. We'll watch it's only like 9 minutes. So sure, why not? This came out, what, 2 years ago? 2 years ago. Oh, there's multiple ones, but this one's
What's the scariest?
Nope, shush. Okay, put that up there. We'll watch that one, and then we'll watch the one, the one Knuckles sent over. They're both up there, as you can see. This video is by Yeah Man. Just making sure it's seen on footage, so that you may know who is the originator of this content. Tell me if it's loud enough, by the way.
This plant in the forest.
What?
Bamboo!
Is that like racial because I'm Asian and...
God damn. Okay, I see where this is going. Raise your spirits. Oh, they're drinking while doing this. Players tell a little dad joke. If either player laughs, they take a shot. Each time they laugh, the other person gets a point. First side to 8 points wins. Psh. This is gonna be something. Where's my pencil? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I was like putting my notebook away. Yo, it's gonna be so fucking rancid.
Oh, sorry.
This is gonna be so rancid.
Scissors, paper, rock. Who goes first?
Sure.
All right, scissors, paper, rock.
I mean, listen, if it's on YouTube, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay. I used to run a dating service for chickens, but I was struggling to make hens meet.
Interesting.
Good
Strong start.
joke. So, Alan, what's blue and not very heavy?
I don't know.
Light blue.
Stop watching this.
Oh. Is this tequila?
Why,
think I'm allergic
Knuckles?
to
You can't
tequila.
handle a couple of dad jokes?
That's fine. It's fine. What did Yoda say when he saw himself in 4K? HDMI?
Okay, what?
Sorry.
I thought he was wearing underwears. No, that's just his pants. His
I
pants are
bought
just
my
like
blind friend
pink
a
with
cheese grater for his
watermelons on it
birthday.
or something.
He said it was the most violent book he's ever read.
guy walks into a British curry shop and he says, "Can I have one chicken korma?" And the guy behind the counter says, "Call me right up."
Okay. No. No.
No.
What's the scariest plant in the forest?
What?
Bamboo!
Yeah, we saw this one.
Is that like racial because I'm Asian and... My granddad
these have
couldn't
to
make
get
it
funnier
to
as it goes.
Christmas
Come on.
dinner this year. He couldn't make it due to COVID complications.
Where's the joke there?
Was that a joke?
Nah, it's just my diary.
Oh wow. Oh wow. I mean, it made her laugh. So he did get a point.
Okay. Why?
He's just smiling. That was kind of out
I
of
just want to be
nowhere.
like just want to be a good audience here.
She didn't even get to make the joke, bro. Goodness gracious.
My boyfriend dumped me, so I stole his wheelchair. Guess who came crawling back?
Wow. Okay, that was
God.
Jesus.
I feel like that was a laugh.
Oh, I gotta drink this.
Now that I think about it, yeah, they're taking these in like quick
Why would you-
succession.
Shut up.
Do
She
you think if
actually
something bad happens to a Buddhist,
did they just lie to her? It just said she wasn't actually winning up there. She's like, it's 4-3. Who lied to her? Poor lady.
a Buddhist goes, Buddha, coulda, woulda.
God, so dumb.
Okay, these
dumb.
jokes, half of these jokes are pretty good.
How many emo kids does it take to screw in a light bulb?
How many?
None. They all just sit in the dark and cry.
I mean, that one just doesn't feel like a
Why
joke.
didn't my parents get each other a Valentine's gift this year?
Why?
Because they were both victims of the robo-debt scheme. Nothing? That's topical. Fuck this. Fuck this.
Okay, they are not.
That's
They
a
are
good joke.
not
And
cooking.
people at home will get that joke, because that's a good joke.
I did not get the joke.
bullshit.
I did not get it. I'm sorry.
My sister thinks she's so smart. She said that onions are the only food that make you cry. So I threw a coconut at her.
Okay. That one is a debate.
Take whatever I can get.
I don't... My dad works at a chip shop. Yeah, a microchip shop. He works at Pfizer.
Oh,
That's a
I
good
get it.
joke.
I get
Yeah, I know. Thanks.
When you hit a speed bump in a school zone, and remember there are no speed bumps.
it. Oh, that one's nice. I like that. I like that
Makes me
one.
sad. Because they died. The children died.
He's
yeah, I am
so
a comedian.
monotone.
My comedy's been doing really well. In fact, I was recently rated as one to watch by the New South Wales Police.
New South Wales Police.
Nothing? Oh.
I was raised an only child, which I think was really hard for my sister.
He tried to lock in
yeah.
so hard. He's struggling, bro.
I'm having a reaction.
What are they even drinking, actually?
Are you okay?
No, it's fine. It's what, yeah. Did you hear about the
I was gonna
guy
say, like,
who invented
Fireball,
the
but that's
knock-knock
some-
joke? He won the Nobel Prize.
Okay. Nobel.
That's good.
Sure.
It's not bad.
I liked
Tequila?
it.
Pretty
Okay.
good, and I feel pretty sick.
My boss hates when I shorten his name to Dick, especially because his name is Steve.
That's just rude. That's
Yeah.
just.
Yes, it's rude. I agree. What a bitch.
Can you see the Asian flush yet?
No, you're
Okay.
good.
'Cause I feel bad. Sorry, did I fuck up the mic? Yeah. Yeah.
You're good.
I'm
I
good.
don't know how these
got
two
this.
are gonna be
Oh,
puking
thank
after
you. This
this.
is
I would like.
supportive.
Nah, it's all
Well,
good,
I
man.
guess I don't
What
know.
kind of
I don't think
music
I've
do
drank
balloons
tequila
like?
ever.
Pop music.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
As a dad
Someone should pop a
joke, that
gun in my
makes sense.
face.
Oh, okay. Damn. That turned real quick.
God damn it.
6 on
I
6.
wrote
They're
a song
doing
about a
it
tortilla,
fairly now.
but it was more of a rap.
Did she just say fucking tortilla? Hold on.
I wrote a song about a tortilla, but it
Oh
was
no, brother. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, not tortilla. White woman moment.
more of a rap. You want to laugh?
I do.
God damn it, I want to laugh too.
If she's
Why do
British, I know,
hamburgers go
but it
dancing?
still hurts.
Sorry.
What?
Fuck that up, eh? Fuck, I'm so hot. Can I take my shirt off? I'm sorry. I'm so hot. Is that okay? Did I fuck up the sound?
Brother is struggling.
Oh, I won?
One more. One more.
I'll hold it and then all right. But is that, we're still going or?
No, another one.
Oh.
They still got
Sorry,
one more
I'm
point.
so
Let's
hot.
go, let's go,
Sorry,
let's go.
so hot. Sorry.
You can stick it.
Where do you go?
Why'd
Where
you
do
touch him?
hamburgers go dancing? A meatball. Oh.
What?
All right. Give it another one.
That was.
Oh.
Got it. Very good. My therapist said time heals all wounds. So I stabbed her.
Okay.
We just found out my grandpa is now addicted to Viagra. No one's taking it harder than me.
Oh my god. Hold on, why does he have paper? All of these are written on their phones. Where'd he get the paper from?
It's just a combination of everything. Yeah, okay.
All right. I gotta go.
Well done. Bye.
Off he goes, the brave man.
Okay. All right.
Okay, half of those were pretty darn alright, you know. Half of those got me a little. They gave me a bit of a chuckle. I got that, you know. I forgot to like the past couple of videos that I watched. This one, my nose. Like this one. How could I not like the videos? Why am I so treacherous? And before I forget, no, I'll like that one too. My mouse needs to work before I kill it. Okay, sorry.
The year is 2077, and the American government has just finished research on the forced evolution virus. This pathogen is
This is the
single-handedly
Reggie one, right?
responsible for transforming
Yeah, this is the one by Reggie. Not the mouse, alright? Just Reggie, the weird slime creature guy. I don't know what he's even supposed to be.
people into Slavs. Shortly after, the world was plunged into nuclear winter. Coincidence? I think not. It was definitely a bad time to be alive, but our timeline is even worse, because in this world, the virus doesn't evolve things into super mutants, it evolves them into cars, meaning that every single household item is now a car. Grandma's radio? Car. Collection of coffee mugs? Car. Your infant son? It's too late for him, I'm
Oh,
afraid.
no.
Even the very bullets inside of your gun? Also cars. Simply put,
That's gotta be some effective form of firepower right there. Just, yes, the car slinger.
75% of the game assets have been replaced by cars, and society is not coping with it very well. These motor vehicles may seem innocuous, but they're actually ambush predators, and trust me, they will not hesitate to put you down. There's only one man who could hope to restore order to this world. Of course, I'm talking about Igor Bogdanov, because today we'll be
Who the
playing
hell
as
is
one half of
Igor?
the titular twins, in an attempt to establish a thriving
Okay,
utopia.
why did they both look like that, though? What is up with that? I know it's some surgery involved, but holy... Just... Hold on, I think I remember how to... rewind a little bit without causing issues. Yes. Let's just very slowly go back to the image. There we go. Look at this thing. What is this thing? And what is it known for? Why is the name... I've seen these fuckers before. I've seen them be referenced in things and stuff. In funny little haha videos. But I've not garnered enough interest to actually look them up. So I have no clue why they are so well known. I feel like they shouldn't be, considering what they look like. They're both dead? Yeah, but, like, who were they? What did they do? Is it literally just because they look like that? And that's why people know them? Because they look like that? Some blokes, you guess. Certainly some blokes.
In an attempt to establish a thriving utopia and put an end to Carmageddon once and for all, can we single-handedly rebuild society, or will we fall victim to a cruel and unusual form of precipitation? There's only one way to find out, but first, a word from our sponsor, NordVPN. A hypothetical situation. You're home alone browsing the internet, when suddenly a gang of cyber criminals break into your apartment and start harassing you. They're trying to steal your browser history and credit card information, and you're powerless to stop them. However,
they would have been moggers. They've been mogging. They're mogging from the grave.
All of this could have been avoided with NordVPN, because Nord will protect your data and never let the cyber criminals find you in the first place. In fact, all it takes is one click of a button and you can change your location to anywhere in the world, allowing you to access hundreds of region-locked TV shows and movies. Nord has also introduced some additional features, such as their kill switch. When using other VPNs, there's a risk that you could momentarily lose connection to their servers and compromise your data, but not with Nord. Simply enable the kill switch, and if you lose connection at any point, Nord will temporarily disable your browser, thus ensuring your safety and anonymity. Other than that, they also offer Threat Protection Pro to shield you from online malware, such as the 800 terabyte zip bomb full of Bonzi Buddy that I am actively sending to your Gmail. So what are you waiting for? Go to nordvpn.com/ReggieGames to try Nord. For a limited time, they'll even give you 4 extra months of protection and a Saley eSIM with up to 20 gigabytes. This will help you stay...
What the hell's an eSIM? What the hell's an eSIM? Explain. Explain. You know, I always wonder how well these services work. There's a couple, right? There's Nord, there's... I think there's one that has like a little shark as a logo, and then there's... Oh, what's the other one that I'm trying to remember so hard? I don't know. I don't know the last one. The sim and eBoy has. Okay. The Express, the W Express, maybe. You know more than me. Probably. Sim without sim. Yes, Kara, sim without sim. But yeah, like I do wonder how well those things work, because it does not seem like that. It's like, it's one of those things where, you know how when you look at a business and it looks like they're doing too many nice things for the amount of money you give them, and it doesn't feel like they would be making enough money. I feel like these companies, they feel like that, at least at first glance to me. Like, I look at them and I'm just wondering, how the hell do you guys actually make your money? You know? Because I know they have plans that are like, oh, if you get this for like a year, it's $100-something, or probably more than that much. But I have a bit of a suspicion, just a little bit, with these sort of VPN, I guess, companies or whatever.
Stay connected to the internet at home or abroad through affordable data packages, thus allowing you to avoid expensive roaming charges. Trust me, it's a small price to pay for your personal safety. Thank you, NordVPN. Now back to the video. The nightmare begins in the character creation screen, because as I'm carefully sculpting myself to look like my body has received a face transplant that it is violently rejecting, I can already hear a symphony of collision sounds emanating from the hallway. Upon further inspection, I open the closet to find 3 mid-sized midsize sedans vibrating violently. Other than that, everything is normal. I have a wife, child, and a robot who I have appointed to raise my son, because I am an emotionally distant father with no sense of empathy. Then, suddenly, a broadcast comes on the TV. This entire area is about to be...
Yeah, I forgot that they literally used the same model of, like, the players, like, the main model for the player, just the default male model. That's the news guy.
Vaporized by nuclear weapons. So, obviously, I escape out the front door, making sure to lock my wife and child in behind me before sprinting down the street. In the wrong direction. I turn around, dodging and weaving my way through a series of cars as I race toward the fallout shelter. Many good people are left behind. I do not care. And despite Mr. Russell's best efforts, I'm the first one to make it to the elevator. I look behind me to see that my wife and child are trapped on the rear bumper of a Chevy Plymouth. Pay attention to the helicopter landing in the background, because it lands directly on top of a car, crushing it and setting off a chain reaction of explosions which killed the entire neighborhood. I was hoping that was just bad luck, but this pilot is nothing if not consistent. Eventually, I figure out the best approach is to just hide behind this container crate, wait for the cars to explode, then everyone makes their way to the elevator and we're in.
I like how everyone survived that.
We're lowered into Vault 111, where, unfortunately, the car virus has already spread. I follow a sex offender to the decontamination pods only to be tricked into cryosleep. I escape the pod 200 years later, where I am immediately greeted by the cold hard steel of a wheel hub assembly. Some things never change. My wife still looks tired, so I decide to let her sleep in. The vault is now overrun with cars, some of which I'm able to sneak past, but most of the time I can't, and I have to punch my way through them until they explode. On more than one occasion, I have broken both of my arms doing this.
Oh my God.
Luckily, the cars are packed so tightly that detonating one will typically initiate a chain reaction that clears out the entire vault.
You think
Good
they're
news
creating
for us,
GTA
bad news
6
for the
too?
rad roaches. After a few more
do you mean?
explosions, I make my
What do
way
you
to the
mean,
exit and
Era?
ride
What
the
do you
elevator
mean?
up. We
It's already
finally
been
made it
created.
outside, where I bear witness
And
to
nobody's
several
gonna buy
cars
it, hopefully.
majestically sailing through the skies. My neighborhood has been hit hard by the car virus, but this is nothing. Over the horizon, I see the Red Rocket truck stop spewing cars into the
My
atmosphere
goodness.
like some kind of volcano. You may look at this and think, what's the big deal, Reggie? It's just some cars. Well, I'll tell you,
Oh God,
not only do I
why
have
did
to
he show that? I don't wish to have even the idea of whatever that was in my mind, let alone what the actual image is. What was I gonna say about this game earlier? I was gonna say something about how lackluster it felt to play. Like, the only thing good about this game, Fallout 4, is the gunplay, and that's it. And that's it. And that's all that's good about it.
contend with the ever-present danger of a car falling from the heavens and pulverizing me, but
Did I say gunplay? Yes, right? I don't know what I said.
thanks to a bug in the game, if I brush up against a car in the wrong way, there's about a 50% chance it'll just kill me. This happened about a dozen times in the first hour of playing. But if we let our lives be governed by fear, then truly, the terrorists have won. So regardless, it's time to venture forth. We have two goals. One, destroy the Institute, because in Fallout 4, the Institute is responsible for every misfortune, ranging from gangland killings to erectile dysfunction. So I'm just assuming they did the car thing too. And our second goal, rebuild society from the ground up. Our first stop is going to be Concord. If we want to restore order to this world, we're going to need the help of notorious war criminal Preston Garvey, and he's trapped inside this building. I made my way there and began wading through the sea of cars that flooded the streets. I was struggling.
Okay, Preston Garvey and his little faction, the Minutemen. I never understood how they went from like... Okay, if I remember the whole faction story, it was that they used to have their own little place, right, in a bigger town or something, and then they just, got curb stomped by some mercenaries or something like that? Because it wasn't just random raiders, right? It was like the random mercenary faction that has moved in on behalf of like some unknown people that they're getting paid by, and they have like all this like kind of military-ish gear. And yeah, I don't remember the whole story of Fallout 4. I just remember that was kind of what happened. You know, their old leader got murked, died somehow. They just were not having a good time in general. The Minutemen were struggling for a good long while. You need to listen. I need you to understand that Bethesda writing peaked at Morrowind and maybe Oblivion. It was downhill from there. Oh, brother, I know. I know. This game was made by ChatGPT. It may as well have been. Honestly, it may as well have been, because half the things that they do nowadays with Fallout don't make any damn sense. And that is quite unfortunate.
To make progress, because for every car I could climb over, the raiders were shooting out a dozen more. I snuck up on them and began neutralizing them with my own brand of automotive justice. I will admit, car-based combat is pretty awkward, but by far the worst part is when you're in the middle of 100 cars and you hear the sound of exactly one of them catching on fire.
Oh, no.
You can try to run, but at that point, it's already too late. That was a hard but valuable lesson to learn, because I realized I could clear out all of the bandits by simply finding a car on the edge of town and lighting it on fire. The resulting explosions vaporized everything apart from the occasional chunk of flesh. Clearly impressed, Preston invited us inside. In hindsight, I do not recommend going inside, because upon entering you will be greeted by a cacophony of suffering, an orchestra of metal screeching and violent smashing. Honestly, don't even bother trying to navigate it. Also, don't even bother trying to destroy it, because I made that mistake the first time. I lit one of the cars on fire and tried to evacuate the building as they exploded. Instead, I left too soon, and the very second I came back through those doors, the entire building would detonate, killing me.
Man forgot that things pause when you leave the building. The time does not keep going. It stays still. It's like each building has its own temporal time distortion. It's its own little pocket of space. Every single one of them. Yeah. Which, kind of makes sense, but when you stop and think about it, it's like, it's gotta be annoying in some situations.
Instantly. Just to add insult to injury, the game also placed a quick save at this exact moment. Thank you, Todd. That was lovely. This left me with no other choice. I'm going to have to construct a bridge made entirely out of cars that span
I'm gonna erase that image of Todd that was just there. Like, it's gone now. It never happened.
Top floor of this building all the way across to the museum's rooftop access. So I prepared some rough sketches and got to work. I started by sprinting my way up the apartment building, but unfortunately the cars ambushed me on the staircase. After dealing with that, I climbed onto the roof and began the construction process. Making a giant pile of cars might seem simple enough, but there's a few things I need to warn you about. First, you may feel tempted to use the shotgun because it fires 9 cars at a time. However, the collision damage from 9 high-velocity sedans will cause a grease fire, at which point I highly recommend running as far away as possible. Just kidding, it won't make a difference anyway.
Okay.
Second tip, this isn't actually a bridge. It's much closer to the ball pit at McDonald's, because if you're not careful when jumping, you'll slide right through the cracks and be forever entombed in your own personal sarcophagus, at which point there's only one way out, and it's not in one piece. Other than that, it really just comes down to luck. In my case, it took about 30 minutes and 97 cars for me to finally make it across.
I'm gonna be honest, I think when I played this game, I always forgot that the cars were, like, capable of blowing up. So every time I would be in a fight and then just some cars getting shot behind me every time they, like, a raider or a mutant misses, I would just, like, see the little, like, indicator that the game shows you, because I think they do that thing where, like, it'll show you that, like, there's like a grenade or whatever. I don't know if it shows you that there's a grenade, but I remember that I do think it shows you if there's like a car about to blow up near you, like on the screen somewhere. Kind of like how Call of Duty shows you that there's a grenade like landing near you. I think I might be misremembering, but every time that would happen, I would just like turn around and be like, huh? 'Cause every time I forget that these cars have fucking nuclear little things in them, and they just decide, that's just how it is. You're gonna fucking die because you forgot the car has nuclear energy in there somewhere.
Several days later, I found out you can actually just jump to the roof from this nearby church. It was a bad day in the Reginald household when I came to that realization. Anyway, I entered the 3rd floor of the museum, only to realize that the cars were literally stacked up to the ceiling. I somehow managed to navigate this automotive hellscape and make it to Preston, but he refused to open the door until I had personally killed all of the bandits.
Oh no.
What a dick. My plan for killing them was to get in this suit of power armor, find a relatively safe corner, and then light a car on fire and pray for survival. Much to my surprise, this actually worked. I tried to find the remaining enemies, but they sent me flying through the very map itself. When I came back to finish them off, I realized they had crushed themselves to death with their own cars. Amateurs. With that taken care of, Preston finally let me inside and began speaking with me as if he wasn't currently lodged atop a filing cabinet. He proceeded to espouse...
Dude, I forgot how stupid the Minutemen's, like... There's a little bit of Frank there. But I was gonna say, I've forgotten how dumb the laser weapon of the Minutemen is. Like, they tried so hard to go with the whole aesthetic of, like, you know, the Minutemen of the 13 colonies type shit. But, like, holy moly, bro. They didn't have to make a crank action laser weapon. Like, I guess it kind of makes sense, you know, for a little bit, I guess. What an educative stream. Such a random knowledge video spit. Yes, Kara. Yes. It is indeed a very interesting stream today, isn't it? Like, listen, you can convince me that some guy maybe finds certain parts of I was gonna say a last gun. That's how you know I'm, like, brain rotted with, like, 40k related knowledge. You can convince me that some guy found a laser weapon that didn't really all work together and put random pieces of it together and could make something like this. But to make this like the standard issue of your whole faction, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
He proceeded to espouse some very racially charged rhetoric about Rhodesians.
Fried chicken!
I told him that was wildly inappropriate, and we agreed to discuss it later. In the meantime, I have to go outside and kill more criminals. My only advice for this section is don't get cocky just because you're in power armor, because those raiders will absolutely laser you.
Damn.
And I cannot express how jarring it is to get hit by a car, fly through the air for 30 seconds, wake up in a different time zone, and then get hit again. Also, that bridge we made, I recommend using that to your advantage. And finally, don't stand too close to Preston.
That's gonna happen, like,
Once I
all
was done
throughout the
committing
video,
vehicular manslaughter, I spoke with Preston, and he agreed to meet me at Sanctuary, so we could begin building a prosperous settlement. And by the looks of it, we've got our work cut out for us.
Okay, am I the only one that never actually built, like, okay, I try for, like, I would, like, sit down, right, and be like, yeah, let's build like a proper settlement. Spend like an hour on it, and it looks like the most ugliest piece of shit city thing. It's not even a city. It's just like a hobble of materials just put together in the hopes of making an imitation of the idea of, like, a village. That's what I always ended up with. You've tried. It's so hard to make something good. Like, the best thing I could do, at least with that town in specific, like the first one you get to build in, is that, like, at the very least, you have the houses. So all you have to do really is just destroy all the furniture inside for material, and then just put a bunch of beds down, and that's it. That's the closest thing I ever got. And I kinda, sorta build, like, a little wall with a couple of, like, those, like, what do you call them? Like the raised up, I guess, palisade looking things where you set a person to guard and then like a machine gun, and then that was it. I was like, yep, my work is done.
First order of business is ignoring the cars that are actively phasing through the walls and trying to consume Mama Murphy.
I forgot about Mama Murphy, that fucking addict. She's like, please, I can help you. I'll see shit. If you give me drugs, I'll see shit. And it's like, yeah, I think that's what drugs are meant to do. That's what the drugs you take are meant to do. I know she does, in fact, have, like, a weird psychic abilities, but, like, her character arc is just, give me drugs, and I can give you random information, I guess. And then Preston is like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
because what's more important is liberating at least 5 settlements and creating supply routes between them to establish a functional support network of civilizations. And once that's done, then we can find and kill the Institute. Our first settlement will be 10 Pines Bluff. I made my way there, where I encountered a woman who was almost certainly experiencing methamphetamine withdrawals, which is fine, but I just don't trust the way she's shaking that double-barrel shotgun like an unwanted baby. Anyway, she wants us to go to Lexington and kill the raiders in this car factory. This would normally take about 10 minutes, but I got a little sidetracked. It went like
Current kids seeing these games leads to reality physics laws. Nah, I think they'll be fine. I think this game is educational. It'll teach them a good couple of things.
this. Wander through the wasteland aimlessly, get stuck in some kind of quicksand, find the site of a crashed airplane, kill the survivors, accidentally stumble upon General Atomics, I cannot resist the call to the void, die several times in a sea of cars before finally making it inside the bowling alley, hit a perfect strike and then attempt to commit identity fraud when confronted by a robot, fail at committing identity fraud, blow everything up in frustration and go hunting to let off some steam. After that, I made my way to Lexington.
Yeah, I also forgot that like every fucking animal, not every animal, but like they just did the lazy thing and it's like, ah yes, you know how Brahmin have 2 heads? What if we like had the deer have 2 heads too? And it's like, why? It was already weird enough for the cows to have 2 heads here in the fucking apocalypse, but like at least, you know, you could argue mutations. Like you're telling me the freaking deer here had the same mutations? Like what the hell's up with that?
Where I very narrowly dodged a projectile car, only to immediately get shot in the back of the head with a Ford Pinto. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Lexington Welcoming Committee.
Yeah, why are the dogs normal but every other animal's fucked up? Well, there isn't there only one dog? No, well, I guess the like the German shepherds or whatever kinds of shepherds they are like have remained relatively normal. Isn't there like not normal dogs? I swear there's like, maybe I'm thinking a different game, but I do think there are like more mutated-ish looking dogs, no? Like at least they don't have like fur. Maybe I am thinking another game. It might be like I might know because Metro didn't have like random mongrel dogs. It could be that I'm thinking about what's that one, Stalker? Maybe I'm just like misremembering random Stalker footage with Fallout. You know, some of these games just kind of blend a little bit together.
I do not enjoy their gifts. Fortunately, they blew themselves up shortly after, and I made my way to the target. It's here where I pioneered a new offensive technique. I call it the wick, because you load up your target with about 24 cars and then create a long string of them leading to safety, which you can ignite much like a wick. This allows us to detonate several atomic bombs worth of cars from a safe distance, or so I thought. You see, the explosion of 25 cars sends a lot of shrapnel flying, and if you're not careful, you're going to catch one in the face.
Oh my
so
God.
I tried again, this time hiding behind a tree, and I still got absolutely annihilated.
What?
Eventually,
Damn, it's like God himself is like, yep, I see your ass. You're dead. I see you. You're not escaping fate.
I did get inside, and after greeting the receptionist, I was left with an entire factory packed full of cars. So I lit one on fire, hid in the corner, and started pissing all over myself. One gigantic explosion later, and I got a notification telling me every raider in the factory was now dead. Simply amazing. All that's left to do now was escape. In hindsight, I do not recommend escaping through the roof, unless you know how to land a triple cartwheel from 60 feet in the air, because I don't.
Oh.
With all of that...
Yeah, just neck broken. You think, how many times do you think his like PC crashed trying to film this? Because I don't imagine you can blow up that many cars in a row without it having some kind of issues with your computer. Or I don't know if he probably played this on the PC, let's be honest. Just, I feel like the first couple of times already would have been enough for his computer. I feel so bad for that piece of machinery.
Done, I went back to my favorite drug addict, told her the good news, and she agreed to join our faction. To congratulate us on the success, Preston decided to give me a flare gun, which I can shoot into the sky to call for reinforcements. Thanks, Preston. I love it. On to the next settlement, Starlight Drive-In. On my way there, I stopped by Trudy's diner and tried to intimidate the bandits into leaving her alone, and I failed. But similarly, Wolfgang failed to survive the resulting nuclear blast, and after that, I found Simone engaged in a life-or-death battle against Trash Can Carla, a duel which they both lost.
Oh,
Following
yeah,
this,
they're dead.
Trudy sold me some radiation medication for all the plutonium
People
I've been inhaling, and then I was
people
on
got
my
a
way.
590
Clearing
for
the
these
drive-in
games.
was
Not
simply
for
a matter
this.
of filling.
This came out even before that, so. But I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it, you know, just ran like dog shit, even with some more up-to-date stuff in your machine.
It with vehicles, beating one of them with a tire iron, and then watching as a dozen mole rats go
I mean, it's mainly gonna run like shit because it's a Bethesda game, more than anything. I really don't understand what it is with with these game developers nowadays in these larger studios, just not being able to make a proper, normal functioning game. Oh, good lord. When is it gonna end? When is the pain of unplayable games that come out at launch gonna end?
and flames. That makes 3 settlements in total, with 2 left to go. And next, we're heading to Oberlin Station. On my way there, I was presented with a tantalizingly tempting opportunity. A
What in the
Pulowski
world?
preservation shelter surrounded by yet-to-be-exploded cars. Obviously, I had to put this to the test. And while I was expecting to be turned into a human smoothie, the shelter actually worked. Following this, I met the leader of Oberlin Station, who complained about being victimized by a gang of violent criminals operating out of backstreet apparel. Don't worry, lady, I'm a fucking psycho. So I made my way to the fens
I like
and
the
started
chef hat.
fighting through each neighborhood in close quarters urban
Oh,
combat.
damn. I forgot they had those, like, big-ass mutant dogs. Those are kind of scary. Just a big piece of meat lugging at you.
This area is teeming with suicidal super mutants, rabid animals, trigger-happy
They
bandits,
do have the fucked up looking dogs here too. I knew I wasn't, like, I shouldn't have doubted my brain. Hold on. Just skip all of that. Yeah, they got like the weird, yeah, the mongrels. There we go. It's GTA San Arc for current generation as kids now love. Brain rot wasn't even a thing back when this game came out, Kara. I hope you realized that.
animals, trigger-happy bandits, and around every corner, there's a car waiting to rip your face off.
Or at least
For
the idea, the I'm sure it existed in some way, shape, or form, but the idea, the the word for it was not yet a thing.
these ailments, Dr. Reginald prescribes live hand grenades. Use these well, and they'll make your life a lot easier, and their life a lot shorter. Just watch out for the mega cars. I spotted one of these at the end of the street
Why is
and
there a
was
giant
drawn to
car?
it like some kind of siren. But once I got close, it launched a car at me, at which point I decided it had to die. After that, I made my way into backstreet apparel and immediately realized 2 things. 1, it's absolutely stuffed with cars. And 2, some maniac lobbed a grenade at me, at
Oh,
which
no.
point I left. If I go back in there, I'm not surviving. So I entered through the roof, where I received a notification that the quest had been completed. Geez, I wonder what happened. Briefly exploring the building, I sifted through a medley of human body parts. Some died in their sleep, others hard at work. The only known survivor was a singular teddy bear on the toilet. The mission is complete, but since I was in the area, I thought I'd stop by Diamond City to see how it was coping with the whole carpocalypse thing. I approached Piper, but felt extremely uneasy about the car dangling over her head. My suspicions were confirmed when it smashed my skull into a million pieces.
He wasn't even doing anything. He just stood there.
After
Why is he in his underwear now? He had clothes, and now he's slowly unclothing himself.
respawning, I can confirm that this car, in specific, is an absolute bastard. When I did eventually get inside, things weren't looking so good. The cars were blocking access to several homes and storefronts, and at least a dozen people appeared to be homeless as a result. Also, within minutes of being here, I witnessed a man pull a gun on his own brother before security guards blew his head off with a car. This place has gone to hell. So I promptly left, only to be crushed by automotive precipitation within seconds of leaving. But it's not all
What?
bad, because while I was there, I pawned my wedding ring to a Spanish man in exchange for a long-range scope on my rifle and a silencer for my pistol. Now my enemies will never know what hit them. With that, I decided to head back to Preston for our final mission, and my transit was accelerated substantially when I made the mistake of jumping on this pile of cars and getting launched into a ditch 300 feet away. Following this, I spoke with Preston, and he assigned me to help Nordhagen Beach. On my way there, I encountered several things. One of them, a junkyard full of cars that I can't blow up. Terrifying.
You know, now that I think about it, how does Preston even know about these, like, settlements? Like, I'm assuming some of them existed prior to the faction, you know, breaking apart, but I would imagine he would have spent so much time already, like, being focused, a little, like, too focused on trying to help the few people he was trying to keep alive to even take note of these other places, or did he only know about them after you help him out? Because it seems like he knows about them. He knew or knows about them, like, prior to you meeting him. And then he's like, hey, go here, go there, go fucking a million miles across the goddamn wasteland real quick, just to help out, like, 3 human beings in this random patch of land. I never understood. It would have been more interesting if there was, like, a proper, like, village or whatever that was a part of the Minutemen, but, like, somehow survived after the fact, and their perspective on things. But, you know, writing issues with Bethesda, never expect anything good out of them. And you'd only hurt yourself by expecting good writing.
For some reason, I felt a deep personal need to conquer this area in specific, so I tried. This was a mistake, because I spent the next 30 minutes dying, being lit on fire, or my personal favorite, being chased through the woods by
Oh,
a suicide bomber,
Yeah, okay.
accidentally blinding myself, and then getting attacked by a black bear that I can't even see.
Brother, this man is just struggling through it. But yeah, dude, even in the normal, like, runs, every time I saw a super mutant, I just got put on high alert. I would be so paranoid that one of them would be carrying a bomb, because they get to you so quick, and you try to run away, but they run about, like, the same speed as you do. Maybe a little slower, technically. But holy shit. You would just hear the ticking. Like, by the time you hear the ticking, man, it feels like it's over.
After much suffering, I did manage to clear out 99% of the junkyard. The only survivor was a singular super mutant wielding a wooden 2x4. I used this as an opportunity to bully him extensively, until I got bored, lodged him in some construction equipment, and meleeed his foot until he died. Abusing him in this way channeled some feeling similar to melting an ant with a magnifying glass, and personally, I liked it a lot. After this, I came across a robot racetrack where these bandits are betting money on which robot is going to win. Very exciting. Possibly more exciting is that I snuck upstairs, hacked into this computer, and found out there's a button to detonate all of the contestants.
Oh,
the
no.
level of free will that I didn't have in this moment was possibly akin to demonic possession, because I could not stop myself from pressing that button. The bandits did not appreciate this. How do
Are
I
you
know
ready
that?
for some
Well, there's only so
football
many
here?
ways to interpret.
I suppose so, Cassador. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Or just watching this buffoon. I don't even know what he did to make his game like this, but everything is cars, bro. Every bullet is a car. There's cars everywhere. I don't even know how you managed to do that. I imagine it's some mod. Which, why would someone make a mod like that? I don't know. Funny.
Being lit on fire, shot with an automatic rifle, and drown in the ocean. So, yeah. I took that as my cue to leave, so I proceed to the beach, where this woman tells me about feral ghouls stealing and eating her children, and while I
Okay.
respect the hustle, I need to put them down. Arriving at the ghouls' hideout, I go inside, and what do you know? It's full of cars. So full, in
course.
fact, that I can't even stand at the front door without the cars crushing every bone in my body. The desperation I felt in this moment drove me to pioneer a new car-clearing technique. I lit a car on fire and counted how long it took to explode. Then, using that information, I went inside, ignited a car, and perfectly timed my exit just as the whole building went nuclear. After that, I took a few deep breaths and went back in. It worked like a charm. In fact, not
Hey, there
only
we
is the
go,
quest complete,
innovation.
but it's literally raining body parts inside. With that finished, we've got 5 settlements under our control, and Preston wants us to go reclaim the Minutemen Castle and declare that our capital city. So I began making my way there, and a few things happened along the way. For example, I encountered a demented man eating imaginary noodles out of an empty bowl. I briefly considered euthanizing him on the spot, but I decided to speak with him first. This was when I realized just how bad his mental disorder was, because he's from Boston.
But no, that
Oh,
means you're
no.
smart, super smart.
He's trying to sell me a credit card and won't take no for an answer. After I call him a con artist, he drops the hard R on me.
Todd.
Well, Parker Quinn, I might be retarded, but at least I'm not retarded enough to eat ramen noodles in the middle of 4 flaming cars. After they exploded, I searched his body. This chaotic lunatic didn't even have a credit card in the first place. After that, I met up with the Minutemen outside the castle, where we were immediately beset by Mirelurks. It was at this moment I learned that AI are not to be trusted with automatic rifles, because they'll either crush themselves in a vehicular avalanche or accidentally shoot you into the nearest brick wall. After dispatching the crabs, our assault on the castle began, and I spent the next 10 minutes running around killing Mirelurks and dodging drunk drivers in my underwear, which was great, but my teammates were quickly saturating the entire castle with cars, meaning that every 30 seconds my screen would turn black and I'd have a 50% chance of dying.
Okay. Listen, at least in theory, the boss battle in this area, and I'm sorry for pausing right on the fucking flashbang of a scene right here, but like at least the Mirelurk Queen should be theoretically easy to kill, you know? It's just, you just gotta live. You just gotta actually survive to that point. Is it 67 hours of long video? Oh, I'm sorry, Kara. Is your attention span suffering right now? Are you struggling to watch? Do we need to put, you know, in the upper left corner of the screen some gameplay of what the fuck is that game called? The one where you have the guy running from the cop. I don't remember. Subway Surfer. Something.
And that chance increased exponentially when the Queen Mirelurk decided to show up. She was spitting acid and generally giving off bad vibes. So me and the boys started lighting her up, and just as I was about to throw a grenade and turn this whole place into a fish market, a soft-shell crab punched me 40 feet into the ocean.
Damn.
This knocked me out and left me drifting through a sea
That
of
crab
aqueous
was fucking taking after some of the best with that fucking left hook right there.
feces. But eventually I came to my senses, tossed a frag, and it was all over.
Okay, everybody in that castle is dead.
To
Not just the
celebrate,
queen.
Preston decided to give the world's most poorly timed speech next to a few flaming cars. In case you're wondering, there were no survivors. After that, I spoke with a dirt-encrusted woman who appears to have spent the last 8 months face down in the mud.
Locomotive
And instead of asking us for a
bodyboarder.
shower, she wants to go into the Minutemen tunnels, fight our way to the armory, and build an artillery emplacement.
Ooh,
So we
okay.
did. Long story short, I found a decapitated alcoholic, stole his clothes, killed an angry robot, and built this. Very
Bro, that piece of artillery, I remember thinking that was so cool, you know? And then you realize how actually, like, how shit it is. Like, you can't use it if you're... I think you get, like, I don't know if it's another flare gun specifically for the artillery. I think, no, smoke grenades. You get smoke grenades. But you can't... It doesn't... Like, I don't know what to think about it. Because what the hell are you shooting out of this big ass tube? Because I know it's not like proper. You're not shooting rounds that are 200 years old out of this thing, unless you want to kill yourself. like neither would this thing. I think have the it's using like a shade. It's put on the wood. Like, bro, this thing would fire one round and break apart if it even could manage to do that. Good heavens. You know, now, like, thinking back on it, it's like, man, like, I could see this thing shooting some improvised post-apocalypse random whatever the hell you want to shoot at it or shoot out of it, but goddamn, to actually get this something like this functional would require some miracle to happen. especially at the like accuracy that you actually in game manage to get it in. Like whenever you do use the damn smoke grenade, just video game logic, video game logic. Because realistically, man, this thing ain't shooting too well. This thing at best is gonna level like half the neighborhood before you even get on target.
Very nice. After that, Ronnie gave us some smoke grenades and told us to call in an artillery strike with them. I gave it my best shot, only to find out that even the smoke grenades are cars.
Oh,
No.
that's tragic.
In this moment, a wave of existential dread washed over me as I realized I'm basically King Midas, but for cars instead of gold. Regardless, we've got 6 settlements and we're doing pretty good for ourselves. Now I know you're thinking, so what, Reggie? You've got a handful of impoverished shanty towns paying you protection money. You're basically a slumlord. To that, I say yes, and we're going to need to take it even further. Because I have a grand vision for how I want to reshape society, and it's going to require more than a little fascist dictatorship. So let's get to work. The first thing
They
the
do a
wasteland's
little
going to
fascism,
need is
apparently.
clean drinking water. So I converted Nordhagen Beach into an industrial desalination plant. With this, we can produce dozens of purified water every day and sell it to the Commonwealth for exorbitantly high prices.
Hell
Also,
yeah.
this is completely autonomous, which means I have no financial incentive to provide any quality of life to the 2 settlers which I have trapped inside. From here, I went to Ten Pines Bluff and established a carrot farming operation. You may
I
notice
can't rate the settlement if we level it ourselves. True. If I can't have the city be peaceful, nobody will have this damn settlement be peaceful. There won't be a settlement to be peaceful with. Can you imagine being like a raider that's just like, yeah, let's raid the place that has fucking big ass funky cannons. That's a great idea. Greatest idea we've ever come up with. I gotta use the restroom. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that. I got a off my chair, and I just felt my back just wail against me and my decisions.
I encase the entire settlement in a thick layer of concrete. That's for added protection, and also because I don't believe in photosynthesis. Oberlin Station is another one of my carrot farms. However, I ran out of concrete, so the life cycle of these settlers is pulling carrots out of the ground until a raider shows up and blows their head off. Meanwhile, I converted the Starlight Drive-In into a Brahmin ranch. By placing several large cages, we can catch Brahmin and then use their feces as fertilizer for the other farms.
I didn't even know you could do that. That's how little I at the end of the day messed around with the the settlement building system when I played Fallout 4.
We can also use a similar technique to capture humans. By labeling our cages with free chems, we can compel raiders to wander inside, at which point they become our hostages. The remarkable efficacy of this tactic leads me to believe raiders possess the approximate intelligence of a lobster. Finally, Sanctuary was converted.
I feel like that's an insult to lobsters. I feel lobsters are a little more intelligent, you know? At least lobsters will only do that when they need a new, actually, do lobsters, like, no, I'm thinking of the wrong thing. It's another crustacean creature that, like, looks for a bigger shell. I think lobsters just kind of shed, and then they just, like, grow a new shell. And that's why they sometimes die, you know? Because they're too soft in that, like, little in-between period. And then they just get eaten by something.
Into a penal colony to punish settlers that didn't meet their productivity quotas. All of the inhabitants were forced to sleep in an unlit metal warehouse, which could only be opened from the outside, meaning that if I forgot about them for a few days, they'd have to start harvesting each other's body hair for nutrition. On the occasion where I would show up and let them out, they'd be assigned to one of many workstations. For example, Preston and Mama Murphy were usually working the wheat fields. Doesn't sound too bad, until you realize I'm pelting them with automated paintball guns for the entire of their 18-hour shift. While the paintball fields aren't great, things could be much, much worse, because you could be stuck in the pillory, where I use a softball pitching machine to lob empty beer bottles at you until the sun goes down. This burns through a lot of bottles, so I typically spend my entire day here drinking whiskey and pissing myself. In my drunken stupor, I also experimented with the idea of a gladiatorial arena, where settlers could fight to the death for my amusement. It didn't take long for me to realize why this was a bad idea. For lesser offenses, I also have a humiliation station, where I strip you down to your underwear and fire all of your personal belongings out of a comically large mortar. For everyone else, they're assigned to stationary bicycles that provide power to the entire settlement. Also, I can literally program the bikes to shock their testicles if the settler isn't pedaling fast enough.
Interesting.
And yes, this can kill them. Honestly, this is the beating heart of my whole faction, and I shouldn't even call it a penal colony, because they're free to leave whenever they want. They just have to make it past the gauntlet, a series of rotary blades that will not hesitate to put you down. You see, here in my factories, the worker does not own the product of their labor. In fact, they're not even entitled to the sweat of their brow, because that belongs to the desalination plant. Instead, they are afforded the privilege of living in a car-free society, and I think that makes it all worth it. Now, you may be wondering why I chose to farm these things specifically, and I'll tell you.
Number 3, human suffering. What could he possibly be using that one for? Whose demonic pact is he trying to fulfill?
It's because at the castle, I have created the largest macaroni and cheese factory in the entire world, a title which is substantially easier to hold in the post-apocalypse. By using the carrots, wheat, and purified water from my settlements, in addition to plastic waste that I've pulled out of the harbor, I've been able to build and operate 8 full-time food processors, which are churning out Blamco mac and cheese around the clock. Now come here, I want to play a little game with you. When you look at this fully automated factory, equipped with vacuum hoppers, logic circuits, and a laser tripwire sorting system, all powered by a fusion reactor, which of these things do you think I had to get from a mod? Well, I'll tell you, it was the goddamn upward conveyor belt. That's right, Todd sold us a factory building DLC without any upward conveyor belts, which is made even worse by—
Is that true? Is there actually, like, I'm gonna know that. Or I have forgotten about the DLCs for Fallout 4. Honestly, like, can you blame me? I think most of the stuff that I know that people have done with the fucking building system in Fallout 4 has just been related to the mods, and that's about it. And that's just because the mods actually try to make it interesting. And even then it still feels a little awkward, because you're just using, like, It'd be like, ah, yes, random cans and rubber for steel and this and that will make this wonderful little piece of machine. And it's like, yeah, but that's not how it really works, though. That's not how it wouldn't. That's not how it would happen. It's got to be some cool stuff in there, though, for like Fallout 4 in terms of mods. I know somebody made like the Ranger gear from New Vegas into, something you could wear in Fallout 4. Oh yeah, the anime mod. And I know there's one for where you replace, well, not the character models, but their heads and whatnot with My Little Pony heads, and I remember that one floating around a little while back. My goodness, the things people make, the power that modders have at their hands. It is immense and terrifying at times to witness. It is like watching madmen with infinite resources and infinite time let their machinations take a hold of them. Glorious at times and terrifying at others.
The fact that he did give us downward conveyor belts.
16 times the detail.
He can't keep getting away with this. Anyway, according to my calculations, I have no idea how much macaroni and cheese I'm making, but my best approximation is about 69,120 boxes every single day. I can then take this abundance of delicious and non-perishable food and distribute it to the Commonwealth, raising thousands out of famine and ending countless food-related conflicts. Or at least, that's what you'd believe if you were a federal agent. Because the reality of the situation is this whole thing is just one big cover story. In fact, deep within these tunnels is an insane man cooking methamphetamine in his underwear. It's me. I'm the insane man. Yes, indeed. I'm making 69,000 boxes of macaroni every day just to conceal my real operation, which is the manufacture and distribution of a highly addictive narcotic called Jet. You see, the fertilizer isn't actually for the farms. Simply put, Jet is an amphetamine derived from Brahmin feces, and with almost 20 Brahmin at my settlements, I'm able to pump out dozens of it every single day. I'm selling it to everyone, even children. This little bastard can't get enough of the stuff. Oh, and all those bandits we've been killing, they were just rival dealers. Simply put, we've got a monopoly on this whole thing. But I'll be honest, running a drug den within a macaroni factory does get a little complicated, and I'd be lying if I said there wasn't the occasional slip-up.
Ooh, this pasta got me wired. The fuck are they putting in this shit?
But listen, this little secret stays between you and me, because while I could be making millions selling pasta and purified water,
dude, I forgot they had that like that DLC with the robots, and you can build the cool ass robots. Actually, that one seemed like the coolest one, honestly. The coolest DLC they had, and it's like related to some wacky ass fucking quest.
masses, I actively prefer making thousands by creating the next crack epidemic. So, with all of that out of the way, I think it's clear that we've rebuilt a functional and prosperous car-free society, and I for one am filled with confidence when I consider our prospects for the future. The only thing left to do now is to destroy the source of the cars, which is the Institute. It's going to be a lot of work, so let's try to get through this as quickly as possible. At the start of the game, I allowed the Institute to steal my son Sean, because now I've got a man on the inside. All I need to do—
The robot one is lamer than you think. I mean, probably. You're right. You're probably right. But, like, you can make robot. And making robot is cool. So, therefore, all is forgiven. It is as simple as that. And make a robot? Cool. Very epic. You probably don't have that many options, though. I mean, maybe you do. I don't know. It could be one of those things that got expanded upon with mods, most likely. All I just think is that it's kind of cool that you can make an Assaultron robot buddy. That's just cool. Assaultrons in general are like... Is it the Assaultron? That big-ass robot with the, I don't know if it can shoot missiles or not. I kind of forgot. Because I know there's another one that's like a very humanoid one. Sentry bot. Yeah, I think it's the sentry one. I think the assault bot is the very humanoid one, I think. But you might be right. It might be the sentry bot. That's like the cool big one. That just kind of rolls around. Shit's cool. All right. Ever since I watched that, I don't know if you guys have seen the like Fallout New Vegas Operation Sunburst animation. They made those fucking robots so cool in that. The Assaultron is the right. The Assaultron are the lady ones. Yeah. I remember now. Yep. Why did they make him so? You know. I shall never know.
Do is find him. I went back to Diamond City to hire a private detective named Nick, but he himself is also missing. His secretary asks us to find him, so obviously I extort her for money.
I do have 125 caps.
More money.
Fine. We'll make it 100.
Even more money.
Okay, you win. 200 caps is all I have.
Okay, that'll do. Let's go get him. From here, I very carefully exited Diamond City.
I hate it here.
The car
And
is
began my
threatening him.
search, during which I stumbled into a building called the Combat Zone. I know the name sounds bad, but the house rules clearly state no combat outside the cage, so I assumed
Oh
I
yeah,
would be
this
safe.
is where you meet that redhead, right? The random little redhead that I don't remember much about her. I just remember, doesn't she have an accent? Which is weird to think about, considering how, I mean, like, having accents in the post-apocalypse makes some amount of sense, but not her accent. Like, her accent here literally makes no sense. Yeah, she's Irish. She's fucking Irish. Now, it would make sense if there was, like, a community of, like, Irish people around in the, like, post-apocalypse, like, some neighborhood, like, there's just some random descendants of some neighborhood in New York or something like that, right? Like, that would make some amount of sense, right? You could make it work, but just having her be existing as is with, like, no reason as to why she's Irish, like, what? Like, there's ways to explain these things, and they just choose not to, which I find funny. I remember people had the hots for her, though. I think it's just because she's a lady that likes to fight. I don't know.
This assumption was very quickly proven wrong when I was shot into a door and beaten with pool cues. However, karma comes quickly for rule breakers, and the entire building exploded shortly after. I got up, made my way into the cage, spoke with a burn victim, not sure if he looked like that before the explosion, and then he gifted me an indentured servant named Kate. I know that sounds like a good deal, but she's a violent Irish drug addict who will sexually harass you at every opportunity. I took Kate to a nearby lake with the intention of drowning her, but instead I stumbled upon a sea monster named Swan. He's submerged underwater, and if you disturb him, he will beat you to death with an anchor. So instead, I began carefully and deliberately distributing cars all over the area. After about 30, I heard him wake up, so I tossed a grenade and ran away with all 7 of my frames.
God,
after my screen cleared up, I found that his headless corpse had been launched over 100 feet into a nearby alley. This allowed me to pick up the furious power fist from his body. This bad boy can destroy cars in 3 hits. This is a big power spike for us. Anyway, after that, we descended upon the subway, which led us to Vault 114, where Nick was being held by
not
raiders.
that long. It's
These
barely an
criminals
hour.
think they're safe just because they're living inside of a vault. But what they don't know is that I'm currently addicted to every chemical substance in the game.
Oh,
and
God.
I've perfectly timed my withdrawal symptoms to hit at the same time. And when that happens, I'm going to kill everyone.
Isn't that actually bad to, like, let your withdrawals be a thing? I forget how it affects you, but I remember there are downsides. Do you remember? I remember some, like, section of the game where there was, like, just random raiders and, like, train tunnels and whatnot, and that area was just kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of ass. Not the hardest thing, but, you know, just, like, not knowing how much further you had to go. They could have made that more interesting. I do genuinely kind of wish, like, this is kind of a problem with, like, I think most Fallout games, even New Vegas had the problem where the raiders just kind of weren't all that interesting. They were just kind of all the same. Like, at least in Vegas, you had that one raider gang that had a little bit of a background and storyline to them. But, like, that's about it. I kind of forgot their name as well, which is funny. And then the ones in Fallout, like, the only ones that are technically, like, raiders are, like, that random little mercenary group, which doesn't... I don't even know how much... I know there technically has been other mercenary groups in Fallout, right? In Fallout 3, there's I forgot what their name is. No, not the cons, because there's the fiends, I think they are. The cons, yeah. But it might be the fiends. It's the ones that has like Cook. You remember Cook? Yeah, that guy and his gang. Well, it's not his gang, but you know. And then yeah, Talon Company as well. Talon Company was a thing. So like you could make it. I feel like it can't, like the whole mercenary idea, or at least like mercenary / raider. Like I feel like in a lot of games they should be given a little bit more lore, because I kind of get tired of the whole like, oh yeah, they're just a random band of people. Like the Talons were kind of like their story was a little cool, right? They were a part of that town and they were hired so that, you know, they can keep the slaves in line and whatnot, and that kind of makes sense. Like there's a reason to why they're here and why they stick around. And then the random mercenaries, and I know the mercenaries in Fallout 4 technically have a reason, but you know so little about their benefactors that it kind of feels like they're just kind of here for like no good reason, even though they do have a reason for being in the Commonwealth. These are the same people who made Skyrim. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, don't worry about it. Fallout 3 doesn't explain the Talon Company either. Yeah, they're there with the slaves, because they have the guy and the slaves are there, and you kind of piece the things together, no? Why else would they be there? They obviously get paid to keep the slaves around. Are you confusing them with the slavers? They are unrelated. No. I'm sure they're the same thing. Probably. I don't know.
There is a temptation to feel guilty about the fact that 95% of my victims can't even be identified through dental records, but they should have thought about that before being born. After the killing spree, we found Nick and began our escape, but our progress came to a grinding halt when Nick became hyper-fixated on this specific laundry room. He just stood there for hours, and nothing I could do could get him to leave. Eventually, I realized I could move him around by punching him in the face, and so began the hour-long journey of punching Nick all the way to the objective. But you've got to be careful,
Nick.
because even though he has about 150 concussions by this point, he will not hesitate to jump up and start running back to the washing machine if you let him. So stay vigilant and keep swinging.
Nick, you can't go to the
Eventually, I got
washing
him to
machine.
the
He fell in
objective, and
love.
we were
The
just
robot fell in love with the washing machine. Makes sense.
about to escape when we were confronted by Skinny Malone and his thugs. Fortunately, I was able to weaponize my status as a terminally online man to red pill Skinny into believing that his girlfriend was just using him for his money. This revelation made him feel so dejected that he didn't even want to fight us. The one condition is that we only have 10
That's
seconds
actually
to
depressing.
leave. But Nick is currently fighting and losing a battle against a 1955 Lincoln Indianapolis, so he couldn't escape and they got pissed. I really wish every social interaction didn't have to end like this, but here we are. After this, we met Nick at his office to discuss our plans to find my son and destroy the Institute. He tells me to take a seat and get comfortable, so I remove all of my clothes. We identify the man that took Sean as Kellogg and decide to break into his house and look for clues. The only issue, it was booby-trapped. Yeah, whole thing full of cars. I wanted to experiment to see if I was high enough level to survive the explosion, so I wiggled
does this
my
man
way
keep getting
upstairs,
these random
drank
ass
an
clips
entire
from?
bottle
Jesus.
of vodka, lit a car on fire, and waited to face my destiny. Destiny hurt a lot, but I survived by jamming adrenaline syringes into my chest and plugging my wounds with leftover food. Nick and Kate were also completely fine. With the cars now cleared...
He's got our boy struggling over here. Look at him in the corner there. He's still just not doing well. Oh my god. Poor Valentine, bro. The gay porn. I mean, I know that much, but like, what do you have to look for specifically, you know? Just for research purposes, for academic purposes. Got my boy fucking crawling, just struggling.
With the cars now cleared out, we were able to find Kellogg's gooning chamber, which had no shortage of genetic material. Genetic material which we then used to track him down with the help of a dog. I'm not exaggerating when I say that I probably died 50 times during this part.
Jesus.
And I don't know why. Things just kept exploding. Eventually, I was even able to predict my deaths down to the second.
3, 2, 1.
Bro, God does not want him to keep playing this game at this point. God himself is intervening.
Much like Chinese water torture, this form of suffering was terrible in its simplicity and irresistible in its truth. After much hyperventilating, I made it to Fort Hagen, where Kellogg was hiding out. I entered through the roof, got pinned in the corner, and then had to endure the entire building exploding for the next 25 seconds. By some divine miracle, I survived this ordeal and killed my way to Kellogg. When I met him, I delivered a pretty sweet one-liner and then got put down like a dog. For my second attempt, I just jumped straight to filling the entire room with cars and blowing it up. I have yet to find a more effective combat technique than this. After this, it was back to Nick's to discuss what happened. Kellogg didn't give us any information on account of the incident, but Nick tells me there's a voodoo shaman that can read people's minds, which is convenient because I just so happened to scoop up a fistful of Kellogg's brain matter back at Fort Hagen. So we make our way to Good Neighbor to meet the doctor. Within 60 seconds of arriving, a man extorts me for protection money and is immediately stabbed to death. Looks like someone wasn't paying their protection fees. After that, I head to the memory den, where I am victimized by a car half a dozen times. I cannot properly express the anxiety I now experience when entering buildings, but if you can imagine that behind every door, cabinet, and cupboard in your house, a car is waiting to kill you, then you are approximating the surrealist hell that is my reality. Eventually, I made it past the cars and met Dr. Amelia, who offers to put me inside of Kellogg's memories to try and find the location of the institute. So I agree, and dear God, there's cars even in the memories.
Oh Jesus, I kind of forgot about that whole mission line. It's so weird when you think about it. And then isn't there also the part where you bring a... What was it? I think you bring like some woman there and like a robot, and you put the memory, like the brain and or memories, I guess, of the robot and the person. I don't remember if the person was also a robot, like a you know, like one of those institute ones, something like that. No, I remember something like that happening. Odd that they can make such a machine like that be a thing in the post-apocalypse, but you know, especially here of all places, you know, in what is essentially like a, I don't want to say a criminal den, but like a safe haven. It's kind of a safe haven, I guess, but it's like most of the people there are definitely I actually don't remember a lot about that area, so I guess like a good amount could have been chill. I feel like a couple of them were definitely people with some history.
Some time rooting through Kellogg's psyche, where I learned that he's so violent because his father didn't breastfeed him enough as a child. I also learned that there's an escaped scientist from the Institute, and if I find him, he can tell us how to get in. His name is Virgil, and he's hiding out in a sea of radioactivity. So I very carefully navigated my way to the nearest clothing store, making sure to die several times in the process. After which, I bought myself a hazmat suit. This should mitigate the radiation from the glowing sea. On our way there, I observed the arrival of the Brotherhood of Steel. They've got all kinds of helicopters flying around, but they're not coping very well with the local anti-air defenses. Anyway, I arrived at the glowing sea and equipped my suit, giving me near 100% radiation immunity. Kate, on the other hand, well, she's pushing the theory of radiation hormesis to its upper limits.
Damn, she's built different.
Honestly, once you get past the prostate cancer, the glowing sea isn't too bad. I fought a few things, realized the utility of a double-barrel shotgun, and then absolutely humiliated this Deathclaw. Proceeding a little further led us to the Children of Adam. They're basically a cult that worships radioactivity, but despite all of their brain tumors, they were actually quite helpful. They told me that Virgil is holed up in a cave down the road.
Bro, what do these people even eat? They're literally like, their house is in the middle of some godforsaken area. I don't think they could grow much out there. So what, did they just eat each other, the ghouls? Like random Deathclaws that managed to somehow be dead?
To reward them for their cooperation, I decided to release the radioactivity trapped inside of these cars by blowing up their entire settlement. I know, it's a thoughtful gift. This detonation left only Brother Ward and Brother Foster to repopulate the entire settlement, and Foster doesn't seem to be handling the news well. I make my way to Virgil's edging cave, where I find him so backed up that he's literally changing colors. He agrees to help us, but says the only way to get into the Institute is by teleporter, and we're going to need a transmitter chip from inside a courser's skull to design one. Luckily, I knew exactly where to find this, so I made my way to Green Tech Genetics, a building which could not for the life of it stop exploding. After I waited that out, I shotgunned my way through a couple of gunners and arrived at the courser just in time to witness him execute a man at point-blank range with a Ford Ranchero. So I made my way up there and introduced myself.
Are you here for the synth? Fuck you.
The courser turned invisible, as if any part of my plan actually involved being able to see him. 14 car explosions later, I had his brain in my hand. The only people that are capable of decoding this brain chip are the Railroad, a highly secretive society of anti-institute resistance fighters. So clandestine is their operation that the only way to find them is following a bright red line on the ground for 10 minutes and then entering Railroad as the password to their base. Holy shit. Anyway, I met with the Railroad and started
I thought they were so smart for that.
lying to them immediately, because why else would I be playing a charisma build? They agreed to help and introduced me to a clearly neurodivergent man who attempted to decode the chip by endlessly typing the same 4 letters on his keyboard as I phased in and out of consciousness due to my acute radiation poisoning. Stunningly, this worked, and we now have all the information needed to design a teleporter. For some reason, I trusted Virgil to do this, despite him being a biologist and not an engineer. I don't know if you're aware, but that's like hiring a plumber to do your heart surgery. Anyway, in the spirit of making bad decisions, I took Virgil's teleporter schematics to Sturgis to build it, despite the fact that I have personally witnessed him hammering a wall with no nails for over an hour. If that wasn't bad enough, he came back and told me we could build this space-age teleporter using the random garbage lying around our slums. So I did. But I have never felt less confident about something in my entire life. Regardless, he flipped the switch and teleported me into the Institute, where I then took the world's slowest elevator downstairs to find my son Sean, who, for some reason, is scared of the naked man smelling of vodka with a bloody power fist, because he's claiming
Yeah, I wonder why, huh?
that I'm not his father. Shortly after, a character named Father enters the room and introduces Sean as his son.
And the product of my semen, my son.
Short.
Long
Okay,
story
that's...
short,
What the fuck is that clip? I know it's from WWE, but holy shit, bro. The product of my semen, my son. It's like, you could have just said your son. You could have just kept it simple, kept it clean. Nah, just had to say some out-of-pocket shit, didn't you?
Father is my son, and Sean isn't even human. In fact, he's a Redditor. My father's son then spends his next 20 lines of dialogue trying to convince me on the merits of dating femboys.
Please try and keep
I mean, convince? Who needs convincing of that? Come on, guys.
mine. This is insane. Right, wrong, irrelevant. It really is humanity's best hope for the future.
Maybe. I don't know.
I've been a part of something amazing here, and now...
Dating y'all? I wish.
After all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that.
It was all very confusing, and I'm pretty sure they're just trying to distract me from the whole car thing. And honestly, it's working. Anyway, I checked my notes, and according to the quest map, it is at this point in the game where we need to become hostile with the Institute. It doesn't really specify what that means, so I took it in a pretty extreme direction. After beating my son to death, I made my way to the atrium, a large open area just waiting to be filled with cars and exploded. So I did exactly that at the cost of my own frame rate. And to the best of my knowledge,
this man's gotta have God's chosen computer. Because there's no fucking way this thing has not crashed a million times over. Like, the frame drop. This game probably doesn't even, like, run that well in the first place. So if he somehow managed to do this for long periods of time without crashing, like, every now and again, miracles. That's how you know God exists.
No survivors. I also stopped by the weapons lab to try and destroy their research and development team, but it looks like they've got that covered themselves. And with that, I decided to leave, only to be confronted by a small army of synths at the exit. I wasn't sure exactly what they wanted, so I decided to err on the side of caution and just start blasting. It appears that our declaration of war was received loud and clear, because after teleporting back to safety, I was informed that the Macaroni Castle was being besieged by Institute forces.
Oh, no.
Our Blamco mac and cheese must not fall into their hands, so I hustled over there and prepared the defenses. It wasn't long before—
Ramirez, get to the mac and cheese factory.
Before the battle was underway, and within 30 seconds, a giant car pile had already formed and ignited near the front of the base, the detonation of which killed almost all of my employees. After that, it was just a hellish experience, with cars flying in every conceivable direction, accompanied by a near-endless symphony of explosions and metal sound effects. My only tip for this is to avoid using VATS, because it will inevitably betray you. At one point, I made my way outside to lay a minefield and clear some synths, but Kate came around the corner and surprised me, so I accidentally launched her into low Earth orbit. Never saw her again after that. 20 minutes and countless explosions later, we had finally defeated the Institute army, but the damage they inflicted was devastating. For example, there were carrots everywhere, and more than a few body parts had made their way onto the conveyor belts. This was indeed a dark day at Blamco Mac and Cheese LLC. I knew retaliation was necessary. We need to send a message to the Institute, and it has to be written in synthetic blood. Unfortunately, Preston says we don't have enough people to launch an attack, so I decided to capture Vault 88 to recruit more soldiers. It was controlled by a gang of raiders, but in possibly my most stylish move to date, I killed all of them while cartwheeling over their exploding corpses in the canyon below. This miraculous
He somehow lived. Lucky bastard.
Homicide had people lined up around the block wanting to join my army. So what's the plan? Well, Sturgis just casually mentions that he knows a sewer drainage pipe which we can use to infiltrate the Institute. So you're telling me that I waded through a radioactive sea, killed hundreds of people, built an entire teleporter out of spare cutlery and condom wrappers, and even spoke to a woman, when instead I could have just crawled through 1,200 yards of feces? Thanks a lot, Virgil. So I put on my hazmat suit and made my way to the sewer pipe. The Institute did attempt to block it with a car, as if I'm not some kind of expert at destroying them by this point.
Nope.
After battling my way past a
He says that and shows us him just perishing to his own fucking moves.
bunch of guards, I'm back inside, and I hack into their computer, briefly play Galactic Control, accidentally shoot down a commercial airliner, and then teleport
Commercial airliner as it drops a bomb.
everyone to my coordinates.
Did it drop a bomb actually? Now I'm kind of confused. That may have just been a trick of the eye, as they say. I gotta make sure. Go back. Why is he blue? Go back. I'm tapping this thing so fast. Oh no. Yeah, it was just a random plane. Or was it? No, it's because the missile comes in there at the same time as the plane does, so it looks like the plane is the one dropping the missile.
Shoot down a commercial airliner and then teleport everyone to my coordinates. The plan is to fight our way to the reactor and place a bomb on it, which will cause this entire place to go up in flames. Pretty good idea actually, but I'm not exactly filled with confidence when I look at my reinforcements. Before the fighting began, Preston asked me to give the Institute citizens a chance to evacuate, because apparently
We're not here to commit mass murder.
but all I heard was
Commit mass murder.
So I put on my finest genocide tuxedo and we got to work. Before long, my team had made their way to the bioscience department, where I tactically neutralized several highly dangerous scientists. We were briefly attacked by guerrillas, very briefly, before making our way into the main chamber. At this point, things got really messy really fast, and it's all kind of a blur. But I'm pretty sure I punched someone's arm off. After several extinction-level explosions, I disabled the security lockdown and accessed the reactor room. There, I carefully planted the bomb, while almost certainly developing cancer. It's now time for us to make our escape, but on the way out, I'm approached by fake Sean, who all of a sudden wants to be my son just to avoid dying in a nuclear explosion.
You can't just leave me here. I don't want to die.
Well, too bad, kid. I don't date gold diggers.
That's not happening.
So we teleported out, and I pressed the biggest and reddest button of them all, instantly vaporizing the Institute and destroying the source of the cars once and for all.
That's a big explosion.
It's finally over. Oh, and Preston
think about it, wouldn't that explosion be felt throughout the entire fucking place? It's a pretty big one.
Have a mental breakdown because I didn't evacuate the civilians, but he'll get over it. With the Institute destroyed and my colonies prospering, it's safe to say we've been very successful, and I believe success is something that's meant to be shared. Personally, I can't think of anyone more deserving than the fine people people at Diamond City. They've helped me on numerous occasions, which is why I've decided to donate to them 100,000 boxes of Blamco mac and cheese. It is my hope that this will be received as a sign of goodwill that might bring our factions closer together. The only problem is that my factory doesn't process things while I'm away. Thanks a lot, Todd. So I went back to the castle, sat down in my finest chair, and left my PC running for the next 36 hours. By the time I returned, I had become a pasta god, and it is now time to reward my subjects.
Not a trail. Snail's trail of fucking macaroni and cheese. Glorious. A glorious lord he is.
Well, there it is, 100,000 boxes of Blamco mac and cheese enveloping Diamond City like a warm blanket. However, there were no celebrations, no fireworks, and the city was not undergoing the massive cultural and scientific renaissance that I was expecting. And I didn't understand why. It's perfectly good food, but upon closer inspection, it became obvious. All of this pasta is uncooked. No wonder they're not eating it. So what we need is heat, the byproduct of an exothermic reaction. An exothermic reaction such as a car exploding. Fret not, Diamond City. I've got just what you're looking for. Gentlemen,
God have mercy on them. The fucking Helldivers music, too. Oh, there goes the entirety of the population.
Well, that does it for this video. We've saved the world from an automotive apocalypse and ushered in an era of abundance and tranquility. Thank you to this month's patrons for supporting the channel, and finally, thank you for watching.
A good video? Certainly interesting. I like the million little side quests he just decides to go on while trying to accomplish his let's just say stubborn task of building, or of not even building. He built a macaroni place while dealing with all that bullshit of the cars. How long do you think it takes this man to like make a single video? That seems like a lot of gameplay footage to collect. Lordy, this guy's got to be like losing it half the time. I can't imagine things being anything different from that. Oh, I almost forgot that I gotta do something real quick. A little bit of a break time, I suppose. I'll be gone for like 10-15 minutes. Hopefully this time it's actually 10 and 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes instead of 30. Hopefully. I'll be back. Well, things didn't take as long as yesterday. Thankfully. Thankfully. Holy moly. Holy moly. What am I even doing? What am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Rah! I just gonna... what did I just say? I just kinda... There we go. I just kinda wanna scroll around for a little bit. Ooh, for a little bit. Don't know if I'll... keep it going for like another 30 minutos. Just because I wanna. What is that? Macaroons. Macarons. Little French pastry things that are notoriously difficult to make at times, and apparently, according to one person, does not necessarily taste very good. Let's see what zany, wacky things the fine people of the globe have gotten themselves into today. Oh, hell yeah. Wish I could show you guys this video, but I don't know how without exposing myself. I can't do it. No, I can't. No. Such is the tragedy of Jolly Boy. I'm thinking about the rats from Warhammer Fantasy right now, because I just looked upon an image of one holding a very... how would one describe this? Unsafe would not begin to describe the kinds of weaponry these rats wield. Unconventionally dangerous and rather exuberant to the point of yeah, I just, they're just hazardous. They themselves are hazardous. The rats in that world are just strangely capable of making the most heinous piece of weaponry known to any creature in Fantasyland. Little stretch. My goodness. You know, sometimes when I eat, I wonder if I'm eating enough calories, because I'll I'll eat like 4 times a day sometimes. So sometimes I feel like I'm either eating more than I'm supposed to, or I'm just not eating enough in my normal meals. Have I played Half-Life? I have. 1 and 2. I have played both of them. They were quite fun, and I still remember the last stream of Half-Life 2 because I wasn't expecting myself to be at the end, you know, like near the helicopter thing. I think I had like 20 minutes left of the game and I was like, okay, you know, we're apparently going to a helicopter, and then it just fucking ends there at that scene, what occurs in there, and I'm like, oh, I, and that's it? This is where it stopped? No wonder people get so fucking... No wonder people get so damn, like, just conspiratorial about when the next part will come out. Never. I believe the answer might unironically be when Gabe Newell dies. Like, that might be, watch that be his, like, farewell gift to the world. He's like, here's part episode 3 or whatever the fuck. Oh, gods above. That was such a cliffhanger. And I guess the game's stories technically got retconned, didn't they? Because the whole, like, Half-Life Alyx thing. Which it looked like a cool game. I just can't play it on this machine. I would if I could. Well, and also if I could afford a fucking VR headset, but that is not plausible. The games do look cool though, that one game. I watch people play it. You can see the liquids in the bottle go whoop 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 whoop. Oh, my eye. Why is there something in my eye? Youch. Oh yeah, apparently Jeb made a comment on Hightail, wishing it was something more different from Minecraft. And then Simon made a response to that, saying that Jeb saying that Hightail feels very polished is the best compliment we could receive. He's someone I deeply respect, and I know he doesn't often speak publicly about other games, so I really value that. I think a lot more people don't understand just how complex Minecraft design is. All the features and systems working together to create a complex game. It takes more than 10 years for games like this to mature into a full game loop. Yeah. Cordial. A cordial response is the best you could hope for. Nothing bad, nothing bad. Half-Life, half like our games that push tech forward. The reason Half-Life 3 hasn't come out is because Valve hasn't found the way to push the tech forward enough. Listen, I don't think they ever will. I think this is genuinely a scenario of like an artist being too picky about like their image not being like just right. You know what I mean? Like at some point you just gotta come out with the thing. You can't keep like picking and prodding at things. Like I know that's their vibe. I know that's what they go for. But at the same time it's like why? You know? It's been so long. Gotta come up with something. I guess they technically did, right? Half-Life Alyx, but it's a bit of a contention, I suppose. Whether that was maybe not a contention, but like, you know, how am I trying to word things? It's cool that they want to push technology and what they can do with it forward. But it's hampering, I think anyways, it's just in general, the negative effect of it is that it hampers the stuff that people want them to make. And therefore, like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe they'll come out with episode 3 in someday, and then it'll make a million fucking sales on the first day, and that'll be that, right? But like at the same time, there is, I do feel like a serious danger of like not just the game being overhyped because of the, like, just like with any other game, right? When you take a bunch of time to develop any game, people are gonna overhype the shit out of it. Because it's been, like, how long now that at this point, you come out with anything. You could come out with God's gift to mankind in the form of a video game, and people are probably not gonna be satisfied. That's the danger they face, at least. Although I do think for the most part people are going to be happy with whatever the hell Valve decides to come out with. Apparently Cyrax is trending again. He's a bit of a lol cow that's been around for a while. Well, I guess he's technically doing better than me, so I can't, you know, can't really shit talk the guy. I don't even know half of the shit this man's done or said to get people to fuck around with him. But he is out there, existing, and that is, I suppose, a testament to civilization's advancement. We've made it so far that people like him can exist. What else is out and about? Oh goodness. Kevin. I guess that's how he goes on Twitter. KVX Art and Kylari are doing a collab for a fucking, I guess, a little model. Just that fucker always comes out with like some goofy ass models. That KVX Art guy pisses people off sometimes, but you know, that is the nature of the shit you make when you're just shit posting. Very, I guess, very sophisticated shit posting if you're spending like hours and hours making some bullshit. Meow cat spawned. What do you mean by this? I don't know if I mentioned the whole thing regarding like that Marvel Rivals competition with that one streamer that's been dropped. There's been a lot of that going around for like 2 days so far. I think I did mention that at least once. That's gotta be such a shit, like, situation to be in. That's like the other people. Like, you lost because a person wouldn't switch characters. You know about it? Ay. People have been posting shit like, oh, this one woman just set back women in gaming like 100 years. That one woman, and I'm like, yeah, she kind of did, didn't she? Like, We're gonna be back to like 2010 type of dialogue anytime we see a woman playing video games on the internet. Like, it's gonna happen again. It's just because it's this one bitch. Oh lord. And people playing random games, how audience approach them. Rephrase that. I want to know what you're trying to say. But no, it's more so that some lady, if you're referring to the Marvel Rivals thing, was very uncooperative during a very important, I guess, you know, it was a competition that, how much money was like being like dropped on the competition, like 40K, right? Something like that. It's like a crazy amount of fucking cash. Well, maybe not cash, but you know what I mean. Like money. Like people playing 1998 games and they're trendy games. Like people playing 1998 games and they are trendy games. I mean, sometimes, yeah, sometimes old games will kind of make a comeback for a little while. It kind of depends on the game though. Because not every old game can do that. There's some people that like specifically stream old games. So there is that. Some are so crazy they upload daily, people watching them as a movie diet. Yeah, everything has an audience, so to speak. Everything has its audience. You just gotta get lucky enough, or just picked up by a bigger creator, you know, to sort of make that work out for yourself. But it's not impossible, you know. People are into all sorts of things. You got unks out here that'll be like, oh, this is a game I used to play when I was like 10. And they like watching it, you know, they like watching people play things that they had experiences with. You can't blame people for that, right? Makes sense. And sometimes people are just into something. Morrowind is my calling. It is certainly fun. When did Morrowind even come out? Like 2000... something? 2002. Not too long ago, all things considered. Man, a time when video game developers didn't have to worry about their shareholders as much. Man, what a time. What a time that must have been. Night of the Abattoir Man references it? Oh. I had not known. Or maybe I have and had forgotten. Ah, my ear. Sorry. My ear just itched. It itched with great buffoonery. Buffoonery? Me when I try to come up with a big word. One of the demon girls is set to play it. Oh, right. The demon gals, I remember. Lucky bastard, Michael. But yeah, that's probably right. I mean, you literally made the game. I say that's probably right as if it isn't inherently right. You made the game. Why am I saying maybe? Or probably. Game need to be game, that's all. You played Tomb Raider. I have not played Tomb Raider. That makes me wonder, actually, is Tomb Raider a thing on... I don't imagine it to be a thing on Steam, right? The newer ones, sure. But the older ones, I don't know. Well, they do have remasters of 4, 5, and 6. There's Rise of the Tomb Raider. No, 1, 2, 3. And then 4. Okay, they do, in fact, have it on Steam. Funny enough. And they also have technically the originals as well. Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they have the, like, packaged remasters. Interesting. Tomb Raider is good? I don't think I've ever, like, really picked up an interest for it. Even the newer stuff. But I know... I think I watched somebody play it once and the controls were yanky as hell. The controls were definitely of the time. Lara Croft Go. What is this? This almost kind of looks like something you would play on your phone. Turn-based puzzle adventure. Huh. I didn't know that even was a thing. But, hey. You learn something new every day, right? Oh, lordy, sorry about that. Oh, well, isn't this something? Interesting. Tomb Raider did it nicely. Even a game theme needed to satisfy through its level, you think. Tomb Raider did it nicely, even Alien Isolation and Dead Space. I mean, Dead Space, freaking Dead Space. Deep Space, where did I get that from? I kind of wish I could play Alien Isolation. That looks so fun to just fuck around in. Because like I'm pretty sure the AI for the aliens in the game, they've made them like pretty good at like they at some point start checking spots you've been in, I think. I kind of want to, I don't know. I'm pondering on many things. I'm a ponderer. I ponder. That's all I do. Oh yeah, Aliens Fireteam Elite is a thing. I remember when that first came out. People were so hyped for it. I still think it's a cool looking game. I'd like to play it. Oh yeah, and I also forgot I kinda downloaded the DLC for freaking A Date with Death. I gotta play that at some point. I don't know if it continues off of where you started. I don't know. Maybe it do, maybe it don't. I don't mind replaying it. I might pick the exact same options as last time. That may occur. Yeah, it's good. The alien run you like a nightmare in game. They do. They did really well in that game. I don't know if any of you guys have played the old, like, Alien versus Predator game. I forgot what it was called, but it's the game where there's like 3 different campaigns. There's one for the Marine, one for Predator, and one for the Alien. And that shit was sick as hell. I remember playing that. God, that was so fun. That was so fun. You will look into it? I think I can find it. Alien. Let's see. Versus Predator. Yep, I think it's literally just Alien versus Predator, and you'll find it right there on Steam. Came out in 2010? Really? Damn. It's not too bad in price right now either. I'd still probably wait for a Steam sale, but you know, it's 15 bucks. At least in Americana dollars. It's a fun one, it's a fun one. I may be speaking here with rose-tinted glasses, so to speak. Hell, I could play it again, honestly. I put them on my wish list, just in case there's ever a sale. Have you ever played Wolfenstein 3D? I don't think I have. I haven't played any of the Wolfensteins. None of them. Wolfenstein. Oh, I misspelled it. Stain 3D. That's the real classic one. There's a pack down here. Let's see. Enemy territory. Return to the castle. And then Wolfenstein. This one came out in 2007. That one also came out in 2007. What the hell is enemy territory? That one's free to play, but it's doesn't look similar. Maybe it looks interesting. It reminds me of like the old CODs. It's a classic for a reason. It's also really repetitive, I imagine. Most old games were. Do you know about the psychological games? Which ones? There's a lot of psychological games, Kara. You must be more specific. Doom was badass, not Doom. And at least, well, Doom had different levels. You know, Doom feels like one that's been pretty was fleshed out kind of like off the bat. Oh god, dude, Call of Duty World at War. I remember when you could play freaking co-op campaigns, man. They need to bring that back. Co-op campaigns are the best. I miss co-op campaign. Like, you know how bad I want to play fucking Army of Two? I played that for a while. I think nowadays you might be able to play it if you fuck around with but I don't know how. I think you can't still technically play it online, but you have to like mess around with stuff. And I wouldn't know how to do that. I remember playing that on the console though. That was so cool. Such a cool game. Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot. That's a VR game. Like a subliminal horror survival forest or house dynamic like Visage. Have I played a horror game like any of those? I have played Amnesia. I did Amnesia like last Halloween, like a long stream where I did it like all in one go. Amnesia: The Dark Descent, that one. I think that's about like the closest thing to those kinds of games that I have done. I may have played a couple of other more like one-shots types of games from Itch.io, but I can't scrape anything from my mind at the moment. My memory is failing me. Return to Castle Wolfenstein is really good. Wolfenstein. Who is Wolfenstein? And why are we returning to the castle? I'm scrolling through like the pictures on Steam of Return to Castle Wolfenstein, and it's just fucking Viking dudes, just undead Viking men. At least they look Viking with the fucking horned helm. Back in the day where you could put a swastika on a uniform and you wouldn't have people seething and raging over putting a historically relevant symbol on the character that is from that historically relevant real life faction. I will never understand the people that got mad at that. You know, The Night of the Abattoir Man was based on the very first Wolfenstein game from 1981. Look it up. There was an older... I guess that makes sense if they're calling Wolfenstein 3D. They're doing it for a reason. Wolfenstein... Let me look that up. Wolfenstein 1980. 1. Known as Castle Wolfenstein. Okay. No, okay, that's why they say Return to Castle Wolfenstein, because the first one wasn't Castle Wolfenstein. Oh, I see. Damn, that is... I like how... What the fucking player, like, not player, but like the NPC is just a dude with the yellow dude with a helmet and a swastika, and then other guy is a yellow dude with a green shirt that has SS on it. That's so funny. I see the inspiration though, you know, the bricks and whatnot, and the color coding. And the boxes. There's green boxes. It's so funny how they did the sprites for the people, though. That's just so goofy. I do not watch Mr. Beast. Why would I watch Mr. Beast? I'm not here for the normie slop, okay? I will not be a part of the hive mind. I am only here for any drama relating to his failings. That's it. I am here for his downfall. What about Mr. Yeast? No, just Kara mentioning like if I've ever watched a couple of those people. Moist Critical. I think I've watched Moist Critical and Aspen a couple of times, here and there. Just because they pop up, you know, like you'll randomly just see it, like a random thing either of them post just hit like a good amount of views, and I'm like, sure, let me see what these randos, these folks that people care about their opinions, you know, let's see what they're talking about. But I don't think I've ever watched Mr. Beast, nor will I. That's a step too far. Ay, Dios mío. Caramba. Scheiße. I don't know any other words. I need to learn more swear words in foreign lands so that I can just drop them while making sure I'm not accidentally dropping a slur. Because that is plausible. Especially if it's from any European languages. Holy moly. They got some funny words over there sometimes. For the funny people. I will not describe who the funny people are. You'll have to figure that one out yourselves. What is this? What game is this that just came out? FBC Firebreak? Doesn't seem like it's doing very well. I don't know much about that. I don't think I ever heard of that game. It's supposed to make sense since it barely did anything. I think, from what I'm reading, it barely broke 100 players. That's bad. That's quite bad. Apparently the guy got a lot of investors involved though, so that's certainly something. Apparently 1 in 10 gamers in Japan are not doing too well when it comes to their finances. They seem to be struggling, and I think this random article is mentioning it has something to do with gacha games. Which, yikes. Did I know about the Wanted channel where globally all YouTube collab to create virtual war match? I never heard of that. Sounds kind of interesting though. Only slightly. I don't know how you would manage to do that, though. That sounds like a hassle. Oh. Well, I stayed along for another 30 minutes. It's fun. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. Let's see. I gotta check on something before I go. Nope, okay, nobody I follow is streaming. Bueno, c'est la vie, as they say. I shall bid thee farewell. I hope you all have a great rest of your mornings, afternoons, evenings, and nights, wherever and whenever you are. May the gods bless you. May the stars shine in your honor. Tomorrow, I think I play Vampire the Masquerade because it's a Friday. And then the day after that, I think we do more Morrowind. And then the day after that, which is Sunday, if my days are correct, we just once again yap here. We chill. We do stuff. As always, if anyone forgets, you know, I have both the schedule on the YouTube side of things, on the, yeah. Vampire, Morrowind, yep, you got it, Karu. You absolutely got it. Take care of yourselves, eat well, hydrate, sleep, don't explode. That would be very contradictory to your existence. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye-bye.